What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Monday Night Football Pre-Lock Show here on RotoGrinders.com, and happy to be with you as we break down a strange game between the Saints and the Dolphins, in that both of these teams are still somewhat alive in the playoff race, but both of these teams kind of also stink. We've got a 37-point total for this game, and so herein lies the dilemma of trying to figure out how to talk about the showdown slate for DFS and lead you up to lock here for about 45 minutes. So we've got, we're going to have some time filler tonight. Maybe we'll have some stories. Maybe Will can give me some stories. Who knows? But I am Justin Van Zuden, aka STL Cardinals 84, filling in for Blender tonight. Maybe I should have just screamed into the microphone like Blender does at the start of each show, and then that, might have busted my mic or something. But we'll try to make lemonade out of the lemons, I should say, that is this game. And the beauty is that everybody is dealing with the same slate in DFS. Everyone's got the same crummy players to try to jam into their lineup. So let's see if we can make some money doing it. I've got Will Priester alongside me. Will, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. I think for all intents and purposes, this is probably going to be the best Monday night best Monday night football game of the year, because you know how this goes. You get Cardinals Rams, and you think it's going to be the shootout of all shootouts, and it's not. And then you get Miami and the Saints, and you say, "Oh God, this game is going to be awful." And Ian Book's probably going to throw for 250 and 3 and run in 1, and he's going to force Tua into a 500-yard passing game like Joe Burrow. And this whole slate's going to be nothing like what we expected. Realistically, though, this should be a snooze fest.
That should be, though. I guess if you want to go glass half full, it can't be too much worse than the games we had last Monday night and last Tuesday night. Last night's game was entertaining from a points perspective, but the Cowboys just blitzed Washington. So, we haven't had a really exciting primetime game really since that Chiefs-Chargers game a couple weeks ago. There's been some bad ones. So who knows? Maybe this is the one to spark it. But I have brought up scoresandodds.com here on the screen share. And if those of you that are looking at it and watching on video, you can see that the odds are roughly around 3.5 in favor of the Dolphins for this game, and about 60% of the bets and 65% of the money coming in on Miami. So the betting public likes the favorite. Not a surprise. When you consider that the Saints are on their third string quarterback, you're going to see people betting the favored team here, even though it's a road team, and it's a little bit tricky. I mean, road teams is 3.5 point favorites. That's always a little bit of a tricky line, but you can check out more of this stuff over at scoresandodds.com. They are our sister site. Sign up and get all sorts of betting picks. I believe our picks during the NFL games yesterday went 5-0. So check it out and get all the nuggets on, history. Dolphins in their last 8 games against the Saints. You got little nuggets here. But these teams have not played head to head. It looks like since 2017, where the Saints beat the Dolphins 20-0 in a game that had a 52-point total. So 20-0 here would be a little less unexpected, but check that out at scoresandodds.com. You can sign up for premium access, and also sign up for BetMGM if you're looking to do some sports betting. They'll talk about that on the next show after us. Grind the line, probably some entertaining storytelling to be had on there as well, but live betting can make the game a little more exciting. So BetMGM, our sponsor, you can use promo code GRINDERSBET. $10 will get you 200 if the team you bet on scores a touchdown. Not necessarily a guarantee, I guess, in this game with these two teams, but you can sign up and get pretty much guaranteed free money. Just need your team to find the end zone. Promo code GRINDERSBET on BetMGM. All right, let's start digging into this game a little bit. If you're looking for our live chat, we're doing it in the RotoGrinders Discord, rotogrinders.com/Discord, or you can go to the RotoGrinders homepage and click on NFL and hover down to Discord from there. But we'll be in the live stream chat channel. That's free. So we do have some premium channels as well, but free live chat for this show in the live stream chat channel. All right, that's it for housekeeping. Let's start talking about this game a little bit. 37-point game in terms of total, and we usually talk about putting jamming in quarterbacks and the captain and all that, but Let's talk about the teams individually here first. And I want to start with the Saints because Ian Book is going to start at quarterback tonight. He made a little snide remark about when being asked if he knew he was going to be the starter, and the first two guys are out, and I'm the third string, so I can do the math. Something like that was a little shocking. Usually, you see these guys kind of embrace the role, but I don't know. Maybe that was taken out of context a little bit. But nobody really stands out as a potential captain on the Saints side except Kamara. And they're only projected for about 17 points. So, Will, how are you kind of handling the Saints in general here tonight?
Well, Cards, what I want to do is tell a story, which is what we'll need for this particular show. And I want to go back a few seasons and talk about Mr. Ian Book at the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And just say that, while I think he was a good college athlete mostly, I think it's going to be kind of a mixed bag here tonight. What I am expecting is that Ian Book will take off and run a few times. And I don't mean design runs. I just mean, a broken play here. I feel like we're going to see more Taysom Hill-esque offense than maybe we anticipated. It's definitely not going to be like the Jameis show where maybe he's pushing the ball down the field a lot. But I think he might be okay in this spot against Miami. He's facing a fairly good defense, but like I said, I think his legs can generate some points. Once again, though, at 9K, I actually think he's captain viable. Only because of the price, though. And that's really all it is. Because when I look at these prices, we've got Kamara's at 18.3, and then there's Waddle and Tua, and Ian Book's down here at 13.5. He feels like the most viable cheap captain to me with all of the unknowns. I mean, what if we get all the way down to the goal line, Ian Book pulls it and runs in 2 touchdowns? Now we've got a totally different scenario where maybe they score, 20 points, but he's accounted for, a good chunk of the offense. And, maybe he passes and there aren't any receiving touchdowns, but he picks up 150 yards passing and, 40-something yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Now he's getting close. I think the unknown has me intrigued in some Ian Book captain. I know this isn't college, but I still think I think there's some mystique there.
Yeah, for what it's worth, in college, his last couple years at Notre Dame, he did run for 546 yards and 4 touchdowns his junior year. And then I guess that would be his senior year, and then his redshirt senior year, whatever the heck you call it, his extra year, 485 rushing yards and 9 rushing touchdowns. So he did show a little more tendency to run his last 2 years at Notre Dame compared to his first 2 years, where he had 0 rushing touchdowns as a sophomore, 4 as a junior. So 4 his first 2 years, and then 13 his last 2 years. So did show more of a tendency to run. Obviously, that fits with the way that the Saints have built their offense around Taysom Hill the last few weeks. And Ian Book can't possibly be any worse throwing the ball than Taysom Hill was. He's probably not quite as good of a runner, but he does bring some dual threat potential to the table. I think the floor is pretty low, but the ceiling is at least interesting. I think that he probably has a higher ceiling than maybe what our RotoGrinders projections give him credit for. So I don't mind that idea. I think it could be ugly, but I think there is some potential. So, and if you're playing tournaments, I mean, you're playing for the upside, you're playing for the potential. I think Ian Book is fine. So don't mind him as a reasonably affordable captain, particularly since he's almost $5,000 cheaper than Kamara. That does go a long way in terms of building your lineups. What do we think that Ian Book's presence does to perhaps taking one of these Saints receivers, not necessarily in the captain, but as flex plays, Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway, Ty Montgomery, any of those guys interest you?
I mean, maybe a little bit. It's the pricing, right? Like, I feel like I'm going to need one of these guys. Which guy is it? Maybe Traquan. He's going to have the ownership. He's 4,600. I mean, I feel like that's a lot better than Callaway at 78. But all in all, I'm not really enthused with the passing game. I know he's going to throw some, right? And like I said, maybe 150 to 180 yards. I'm not expecting 250. The blitz, I will say the blitz does have him, I think, at around 200. And let me check that to make sure I don't want to. Yeah, the blitz has him sitting right at 200, which I think is reasonable considering maybe they're behind and he has to throw a little bit late. So I definitely get the concept. But these receivers, man, I'm just not enthused. I think I just rather play the cheap guys because clearly I'd much rather play Jalen Waddle or Devontae Parker over this group.
Yeah, right now his live prop odds, as I brought up here on Scores and Odds, right around 180. DraftKings has them at 185. Our sponsor BetMGM has them at 186. PointsBet has them at 180. So kind of between 179 and 185. The blitz a little higher on him than his props, but I think one of these guys has a potential interesting game. And especially if you're looking to captain Ian Book, playing running him back with one of the receivers, maybe a Traquan Smith, who has been the most reliable, I guess, in air quotes, in terms of targets throughout the season. But he's only had 3 each the last couple of games, whereas Callaway had 9 last week. But it all depends on rapport with a specific quarterback. So those guys I'll probably mix and match in some tournament builds.
You know who the pass catcher is now. We already know this.
Well, it's probably going to be a tight end since
it's Nick Van Ette at 1K.
Yeah, Nick Van Ette had a few games of increased targets and kind of disappeared last week, which corresponded with let's see, Troutman came back again, but he's out again tonight, I believe. So Van Ette is one of the only healthy tight ends the Saints have. So I don't mind going back to that well as a punt.
Yeah, I like Van Ette a lot. I think that feels like easy pickings. I'm sure they're going to try to get creative and give him some easy throws up the seam, right over the linebacker. I think Nick Van Ette, man, that feels like a good one to me.
All right. So that probably covers the Saints. I mean, Kamara is going to be about 60% owned in the flex. I have no issues playing him, in any type of build, but let's go and talk about the Miami side here in general for a second. This is where you'll probably get a little more exposure in total in terms of ownership, but Jalen Waddle is expensive in the captain on DraftKings. He's 17.4. Tua is 15.3. Pretty rare that you see a quarterback $2,100 cheaper for a captain pick than the wide receiver, and yet the wide receiver is still more popular, which does surprise me a bit with Devontae Parker back. Parker had a pretty good game last week. You've still got Gesicki there. Duke Johnson can catch some passes. He was a breakout performer last week after failing a lot of folks plenty of times in DFS. We saw the Duke Johnson resurgence game when nobody had him. So Duke Johnson and Myles Gaskin are pretty much the only 2 active backs for Miami. I believe a couple other guys they've got inactive tonight. So you're going to see those 2 guys dominate the work. We already had somebody in the chat ask about whether or not you can captain the Dolphins defense. So I think there's some interesting options here, but if you had to rank your favorite Dolphins captains based on their salaries and projected ownership, who do you like?
Oh boy. I actually think it's Tua. I feel like he's got the most upside with what I feel like is probably close to his best group of wide receivers he's had all year. I mean, it's been hard for him to get Waddle and Parker together most of the season. Gesicki's there. He's got Duke Johnson now. God, what's the other guy's name? Is it Isaiah Ford? Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Isaiah Ford's there. I mean, we know, Will Fuller's not coming back. I think this is about as close to, a bevy of riches he's had all season. I think Tua is probably the best play on Miami tonight, period. He's got the option for touchdowns all over the place. And yeah, I know Myles Gaskin could run one in or Duke Johnson could run one in, but and maybe they will. But I think he's got the opportunity here with Gesicki. You know, we haven't even talked about Durham Smith or Smythe, however they pronounce it, as the alternative tight end. And not that he's going to get more work than Gesicki, but he's another target that he's got in this offense to throw to. I think Tua is just the best play on Miami, period.
Yeah, it surprises me that his ownership is lower than Waddle and the captain. He's cheaper. You've got all those weapons that you mentioned. I think Tua is the play there. You know, if it's a competitive game throughout, I'd just rather have exposure to Tua than trying to figure out which of the pass catchers it's going to be. And that's not to disparage Waddle. I mean, the guy's been really, really good. Obviously, you know, Parker's big game last week corresponded with Waddle not playing, but you look at 11, 10, 9, 6, 10, 12, the targets, the 6 prior games for Waddle when largely when Parker was out. So with both of them active and with Gesicki active and with Ford maybe stealing a few targets, it's all going to spread out a little bit. So I think getting that exposure to Tua is probably the best way to do it. If you don't feel comfortable with Ian Book as your captain, you know, you could go to Tua. Maybe you can try to get Ian Book in your flex spot and get both quarterbacks in there. Let's see if we did that. That'd be with both quarterbacks and Tua in the captain and Kamara, and of course Nick Vannett as a punt. You'd still have 62.50 per player for your last 2 spots there on DraftKings. So that's certainly doable as well. If you had to pick amongst these receivers, as far as, you know, okay, I'm building a tournament lineup, I'm captaining Tua, I want to pair him with somebody. Is it Waddle at 11.6? Is it Parker at 9.4? Is it just Gesicki at 6.4? Do you take a shot on Ford? Where are you looking there?
Man, I think I just take Waddle just because I do still feel like he's going to get most of, you know, the target share. He feels about as safe as it can get. And so in terms of, you know, where he's been headed. So I think it's Waddle. Gesicki, we've seen him, you know, when they've had a full group, you know, he might get, you know, 7 targets. And that's probably enough in this game. But if Waddle gets anywhere near 10, which I'm fully expecting him to kind of be around 9 or 10, I still think he's going to be the better play.
I'm looking once again on scores and odds at the live props for the pass catchers. So Gesicki, if we use BetMGM, our sponsor site, again, promo code GRINDERSBET, $10 turns into 200 if the team you bet on scores a touchdown. But if you're interested in player props as well, Gesicki is at 40.5 yards on BetMGM. Parker is at, let's see, I'm overloading the server here. Trying to do too many searches at once. Parker is at 51.5 and Waddle is at like 61.5. So the projections, the props do favor Waddle in terms of yardage. Our projections in terms of, you can see this, and if you're a premium subscriber on scores and odds, you might wonder what this column is here. And I'm not sure how easily viewable this is, but if I zoom in a little bit, this column here is what our RotoGrinders projections have compared to the odds. So you can see Parker's best odds are at 50.5. We've got him projected at 52.24, which is a difference of plus 1.74, which, if you trust our projections in RotoGrinders in the long run, means that we project him to go over that total. 1.74 is not a huge difference, but you can see when I pulled up Gesicki, his prop is around 40 or 41 yards, and we've got his projection at 46.84, so a positive differential of 6.3. So based on the RotoGrinders projections and the fantasy point numbers, that's one of the better bets there. So our projections do like Gesicki a good bit. He's going to be fairly highly owned, but he's also reasonably affordable. So I will mix and match all three. I think it's a little bit of fool's gold to try to, you know, pretend like with all 3 of these guys active for the first time in a long time, where Tua is going to go with the football. So I'll probably mix and match all of them. I do think Waddle is probably the safest. Parker maybe has the highest ceiling. Gesicki is cheaper, so he has the viability there. So I just tweeted out a few minutes ago, since Duke Johnson had his career game last week when nobody was on him, we can all look forward to his 2.5 fantasy points tonight, because that's what Duke Johnson does. So are we touching these running backs? They basically only got two guys, so it's going to be Duke Johnson. It's going to be Gaskin. Do you have a take?
I would say take both of them out of your lineup.
There you go. Yeah, it's really scary. I mean, we saw this New Orleans defense absolutely dominate against Tampa. It's just tough to try to peg, two generally low upside running backs who are going to split the carries. I mean, yeah, Duke Johnson got to work last week, but they're going to ride a hot hand roll, and it's going to be tough to run all over that Saints front seven. So I will be underweight on both of them as well. I agree. I don't love it. So especially since both of them are going to be at least somewhat popular. So probably a pass for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think the build is both quarterbacks, receivers, and maybe a kicker or two, and find another cheap guy. I feel like that's the build in my book. I mean, and I think, of course you can play Kamara because of his upside in the passing game, especially if they decide to actually get him going. I mean, he got 5 targets against the Jets, 6 targets against Tampa Bay. He gets anywhere near that and starts catching balls. He could end up with 10 fantasy points in a hurry just off catches. So I do like both quarterbacks. I think Kamara is definitely warranted. He's just really expensive, but I still think he should be valued a lot higher than anybody else on the Saints and anybody else on the Dolphins running game. Like that, I'm gonna be honest with you. On this slate, I would be willing to fade the whole Dolphins running game. Now, fully understanding that Gaskin or Duke Johnson, the wide receiver could fall down to 2 and they could run one in. Like, I understand that too, but I'd be willing to risk it on this one and fade them both, Johnson and Gaskin.
And of course, the kickers are always viable and the defenses are viable in this game. Obviously, we've got a 37-point total. And if you had the Dallas defense last night, I believe they had 4 sacks, 2 turnovers. They had a pick 6 on a Christmas gift from Taylor from Heineke in the first quarter. And then they had a block punt that they recovered in the end zone in the third quarter. So for all the talk of the defense is not getting there, that was a block kick, 4 sacks, 2 turnovers, and 2 defensive scores for the Dallas defense in last night's game. So given the Saints on their 3rd string rookie quarterback, and that gives the Miami defense some intrigue, and New Orleans defense has been one of the better units in the league. So I will probably lean towards the defenses over those, Miami running backs and save a little salary. Will be interesting to see if more people play the defenses after that game last night, or if more people captain the defenses, if recency bias takes over. But which defense you like better here?
I'm always going to side with the defense that's going against the rookie quarterback. Definitely like Miami. I don't overthink it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think so. I would go lean towards Miami as well. We'll come back here in a second, but I do want to make sure we touch on FanDuel a little bit, because Carolina guy was asking in the chat, would you touch those Miami running backs a little bit more on FanDuel, where you only get the half-point PPR, or is it still a stay away for you over there?
Stay away in all formats. I know they could run into a touchdown. I understand. I'm willing to take that chance on this slate and just go ahead and get those guys out of my build, because, the name of the game here is, man, we're trying to come in first solo. And, the more combinations I can get with the good plays, the better I'm going to feel about it.
Yeah, salary cap is fairly soft on FanDuel as well. And both Parker and Gesicki are cheaper than the 2 running backs. So we've got Duke Johnson pretty popular on FanDuel at almost 30% ownership. I think I would be
fade
out. All the Saints pass catchers, Callaway's 8,500, Smith 7,500, Nick Vannett 7K. If you play Nick Vannett on FanDuel, it really opens up your lineup to where you can get you can get both quarterbacks. You can get Parker, or you can get Waddle. I've got 2,500 left in this kind of build that I threw together in about 2 minutes. So I just don't love 11K for those running backs when you've got all those potential options at 7,075. even the kickers at 85 and 9K, I think are interesting. So, yeah, I'm still out. I'm with you on being out on the Miami running backs here.
Yeah.
All right. Other thoughts, just in general, we can take a look at Slate IQ here in a minute, but other thoughts on the game in general. Does Will have a tackle prop? Will, I always ask Will for a tackle prop tonight.
Yeah. This slate was a tricky one. I think the best tackle prop is actually, I think it's Marcus Williams. Let me verify that really quickly. And I do have a way to verify it quickly. Shout out to Nargs. I don't have to do all the heavy lifting anymore. Nargs has a sheet for this, and I can pull it up quickly and look at it right away. So thanks, Nargs. You are a lifesaver, because I was doing all of this by hand. And yes, it is Marcus Williams at 4.5. If you look at, he's at 4.5. If you look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games, 5, 5, 3, 9, 7, 3, 7, 8, 2. And all this was after the bye. I think Marcus Williams at 4.5 is definitely our guy.
All right, you heard it there first. And if you're interested in more props, Chiefs Prop Shop on the Discord server. That's a free channel. If you're in the chat, the live stream chat for the game under the featured channels, it's just a couple up above there. So check out the Prop Shop. Rumor has it that that Will is up at like 1 a.m. and then again at like 3 a.m. and like 5 a.m. He never sleeps. He's doing the esports props and everything too. So grinding good lines there in the Chiefs Prop Shop. Say that 10 times fast. That would trip me up a lot. But Chiefs Prop Shop Discord channel is always a good time over there. All right,
Yeah.
So let's take a look at Slate IQ. I pulled it up here. If you are not familiar, Slate IQ is our RotoGrinders tool, which takes past similar slates and also current slate projections, both of them, simulates the data and compares what our projected ownership is and what people have done on the historical similar slates to what we project to happen tonight. So we've got a couple of charts here. This first one that I'm going to share is for similar past slates, what the majority of the field is doing. That's the gray bar. And what the top 0.1% of lineups are doing based on historical similar slates. So we're looking at, 2 to 5 point spreads. We're looking at low totals like we have tonight. What is everybody doing in terms of lineup allocation? And you can see this 5-1 would be 5 players from the winning team, 1 player from the losing team. 4-2 would be 4 players from the winning team, 2 players from the losing team, etc. You can see that most of the field is doing a 4-2 build or a 3-3 build. Most of the top 0.1% of lineups in the blue are using a 4-2 build or a 3-3 build. 75% of lineups are doing that. And only 75% of winning lineups are doing it on only 61% total of the field. So the 4-2 and the 3-3, the balance type builds with similar number of players from both teams seem to be the way to go in games like this. And that stands to reason this probably isn't going to be an onslaught. You're probably not going to see either of these teams scoring 40 points or 50 points like we saw with Dallas last night. So the leverage is on the balanced build, the 4-4, the 4-2, the 3-3 lineups, and hoping, for a pretty competitive game, which we should see with the low total. No surprise there. And that's based on past similar slates. Now, if we look at the simulated results based on the projected data, again, you're seeing most of the lineups be 4-2 or 3-3 in terms of the winning team and the losing team. So those balanced builds are kind of what our simulations do like tonight. We can also look at captain usage. If we look at what the rest of the field is doing versus the top 0.1%, you can see there's heavy positive leverage on using a running back in the captain here. The field's doing it just 29% of the time. The top 0.1% is doing it 44% of the time. And there's not a lot of leverage on using a QB or a wide receiver. So the Slate IQ data, historical data, does indicate that, maybe Kamara is the right choice, or maybe you take a shot on one of those Miami running backs. That's a little uncomfortable. I will probably ignore it. But you do also have to keep in mind that, our data set here is a little bit small because this total is lower than almost every NFL total that you see these days. So take the historical data with somewhat of a grain of salt. But the simulated data, I think, is what is interesting. And we are showing, so what you want to target here is where the optimal captain percentage, the orange bar, is higher than the blue bar, which is our projected ownership. That's where positive leverage comes in. So our chart shows positive leverage on Kamara, positive leverage on Gaskin. So it is kind of in line with that simulated, or the past slate data. Negative leverage there on Traquan Smith and Marquez Callaway. Positive leverage on Nick Vannett. So there you go, Chief. Nick Vannett is the captain for you if you don't trust those Miami running backs.
Yeah, that's what they say, man. You can't get away from the tight end on these particular slates, which is very interesting. But I do understand the Kamara thing, and one of the things too, for me, Cards, is I do think it's also talent dependent, right? Like, I don't care what this thing says. I'm not playing Myles Gaskin in the captain. Now, of course, as we say when Dean's on the show, now that's the mush play. Now Myles Gaskin's going to score 3 touchdowns and make us all look like idiots. But I'm in the Kamara. And I definitely agree with the data here that Kamara is probably the best play. I will have Ian Book mostly just because of the pricing, but I definitely understand the Kamara. I mean, it's the numbers don't lie here. He should be the highest scoring, player on the slate, by a wide margin if he got all the work.
And if you do feel bold enough to captain Nick Vannett, you can basically play anybody you want around him. In the sample lineup here, I put 2 in there, put Waddle in there, put Book in there, put Kamara in there. You can fit them all in there. You still have 5,500 left.
Wow.
But again, as Blunder would say, that lineup isn't going to be as unique as you think, because that's still, even though Vannett is only 0.7% owned in the captain, that's still 10,000 lineups or 600 lineups or whatever it is.
Yeah.
On these big tournaments, and because you can fit almost anyone you want with him in the captain, a lot of those lineups will look pretty similar. So maybe not a bad idea. You round that out with a defense or something, you leave $1,700 on the table. That's probably what you want to do if you are crazy enough to roll some Vannett captain lineups out there tonight. But yes, like you mentioned, it is talent dependent as well. Ian Book isn't suddenly going to be a superstar just because Myles Gaskin isn't going to suddenly figure out how to run just because of what the historical data says. You do have to factor in the actual players as well, but interesting to note that the data set here does like the running backs maybe a little bit better than we do. So if you trust the science over the 37-point total and the limited talent that the Dolphins have at running back, roll those guys out there. Ian Book, it does show like he's going to be a little under-owned in the flex. So maybe that's where you play him if you don't feel comfortable as the captain. Saints defense showing 30% optimal, 20% projected ownership in the flex. Again, Vannett, Gaskin, the kickers, similar to what you saw with captains, you get some positive leverage there. Dolphins defense shows some positive leverage, as does Mark Ingram. And somebody asked about that in the chat. Is captaining Mark Ingram a little too crazy? We really haven't talked about Ingram that much yet. So your thoughts on him as the second running back for the Saints, but a guy that is probably still going to get his 10 to 12 touches.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in Mark Ingram. I just got to hope that he doesn't vulture one at the goal line, which could very well happen. But yeah, I don't think he's someone that you just don't have to play, but I also don't feel like he's a must play. Like he's a last piece play. Let's go with that. More of a last piece, not someone I'm keying in on.
Yeah, he's been pretty bad the last couple games. As you can see, I pulled up the game logs. They haven't been pretty, and they're pretty low upside touches for him. Unless he's fine in the end zone, it's probably not going to be worth it. So somebody asking about Gaskin and the captain with that data. Look, it's a split backfield situation in Miami right now. Gaskin has only scored rushing touchdowns, in 2 games all year. He's a 3.5-ish yards per carry guy. And now you got Duke Johnson banging on the door there. And Gaskin's going to be about 20-30% owned when you factor in captain ownership. So just tough to trust Gaskin. We're kind of on the same page there. But again, we are admittedly a little lower on him, we being Will and I, than what seems like most people are. So take our analysis with a little bit of grain of salt there. If you do like him, he's going to have to find the end zone to be worth it. So S. Lambert saying this could be the Patriots playbook in the wind game. Book might only throw the ball 3 times. Let's hope not. I don't want that game again. But that's how these showdown games have trended. So I suppose you never know. Like, could the Saints just run the ball 40 times tonight? It's possible, I guess.
I don't trust Sean Payton to run the ball 40 times unless he's going to throw it another 30 times. I don't see that coming. Not 40 on purpose. Maybe Kamara runs it 15 and Mark Ingram runs it 8 or 9 times. And if Ian Book takes off his handful 10 times, then we're still, in the 30, 34 range, 33 range. So I don't see 40. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, you're also indoors here, so Belichick might have the stones to do it, but yeah, I mean, we saw the Saints, even when they were shutting the Bucs out last week, continued to throw the ball with Taysom Hill. Now, granted, Peyton wasn't there, but it was an interesting game plan. So we'll see how they have Ian Book come out tonight.
I really do think it's going to be a similar game plan. Like Ian Book he's probably about as close to Taysom as they're going to get in my book. Play on words there, but I definitely think the game plan is similar. It's just whether or not Ian can rise to the occasion and play reasonably okay to see if they can pull this game out.
All right, so we do have somebody, and we haven't really talked about the punts, the true punts. We talked about Nick Vannett. He's fine, but what if you need a $200 player? You need to round out your lineup. You want everybody else you want to get in there, and you need a $200 player. Your options are, Ethan Wolf is the backup tight end for the Saints tonight. Kenny Stills, always good for a goose egg, but maybe one target 50 yards down the field. You just never know. Smythe, the backup tight end for Miami, he's $600, a little pricier. Any interest in any Mac Hollins, somebody had asked about earlier? Any interest in those guys?
It would definitely probably be Durham Smythe. For me, I feel like he doesn't have a stable target share by any stretch of the imagination, but he's at least involved sometime. Got one target, had 5 and 5. He's all over the place. I don't want to play any of these $200 guys. I'll just leave it at that. Nick Vannett, I think, is our cutoff at these, cheaper prices.
Yeah, Kenny Stills did not play a snap last week. I'm not sure if he ended up being inactive or not. I'm not playing him, so I just X'd him out. Didn't bother to double check it, but he did not see a snap last week. Let's see. Mac Hollins played 13 snaps. Preston Williams played 6. Smythe was on the field for 92% of the offensive snaps last week, so he's at least out there. Now, granted, they're going to use him to block quite a bit, but he was at least on the field a good bit last week. So, yeah, it's $600, and maybe he gets a touchdown at or a target inside the 5-yard line. He had one target last week, but he did have a couple 5-target games back in November. So if you're looking for guys that are just going to be on the field, Smythe is probably your best option. Mac Hollins probably going to get 15 to 20 snaps. Let me look at the New Orleans tight end snap counts last week. I still have the Dolphins up. One moment. All right. New Orleans snap counts. So Troutman played on 57% of the snaps. Juwan Johnson, 36. They're both out. and Vanette on 57%. So they're going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. If you want to Ethan Wolf basically in the same vein, I think I'd rather just play Smythe at 600, but and maybe Mac Hollins is my second choice. But to be clear, very, very low floors on all of these guys. The floor is 0. But Smythe and Hollins probably your 2 best options if you want somebody that's at least going to be on the field a little bit. All right. Let's see if we've got any other questions here. We are 3 minutes to lock. Look, Blender last Thursday night, Blender was talking WWE this 30 minutes into the show. And I thought this was going to be, a really difficult job hosting and getting us to lock here at 8:15. This has been almost effortless. Man, Blender's got to take a page out of my book here out of this. We got all the way up to 8:15 here without a problem. Kidding, of course. Blender does a great job. All right. Let's see. I think we've at least caught Carolina guy asking, can we just play the kickers and MVP on FanDuel? Might as well. You never know when a 9-0, 9-3 game might break out. And certainly I think you can play the kickers. I mean, Sanders at 4,200 on DraftKings. Let's see. Maher's 4K. So both of those guys certainly fine. You'll see some stalled out drives here tonight for sure. So any other thoughts that have crossed your mind here with a couple minutes to lock?
Yeah, I will say there's nothing worse than sweating a kicker prop at the last minute. Let me tell you why. So last night we're in the prop shop and everybody knows Greg the Leg is like, so we got a couple of kicker prop shop MVPs when we're talking about kicker props. Greg Zerline's one, Chris Boswell's one, Justin Tucker's one. We've just got a handful of guys that we say, okay, these are guys we rely on. Carlson from the Raiders. At any rate, Younghoe Koo, he's another one. So we're sweating kicker props last night, and the line on Greg Zerline was 8.5 fantasy points for a field goal kicker. So for those of you that know, 5 points for anything 50 plus, 4 points for anything 40 plus, 3 points for anything under 40.
All we got is 8 extra points here, my friend.
Right. And the line's 8.5, and he kicked 8 extra points. And we couldn't blame Dallas. Shame on the Washington Redskins for not being able to get any stops anywhere inside the 40 to 35. And we're running home with the money. That cost us our 15x on PrizePicks. We got everything else right. And we missed on Greg Zerline, who is like our prop shop MVP of kickers, just doesn't miss for us. And he kicked 8 extra points. And so in the prop shop last night, we're like, hey, can the defense just get one more pick six, one more block punt late in the game? Come on, pick off Kyle Allen, run it down to the 20. And it just doesn't happen. Exciting time, still made a little money, but man, could have been 15 times your money, ended up with 2.5 times our money.
Would it have been more or less tilting if they would have gotten in field goal range and then he would have missed it?
Oh, that's the ultimate tilt. So
see, that's why Tucker's the MVP, because he doesn't miss.
Well, no. Here's the other thing. He is the MVP. He's one of them. We don't like Harbaugh in the prop shop. I can tell you that right now. Harbaugh has cost us so much money in the past 2 times. He's gone for 2 to win the game instead of tying it and going overtime. It's cost us big money, Justin. We don't like Harbaugh in the prop shop. I can tell you that.
As a Ravens fan, he's cost me some emotional distress as well. But I guess their roster, and by the way, we're at lock. Their roster is so depleted at this point that I can understand, why he went for 2, with their depleted roster. And then I think Burrow threw for like 500 plus on him last week.
Oh yeah, I know.
And now the Ravens have to play the Rams next week. So, and they're down to like one healthy corner. I don't know. Cooper Kupp's probably gonna have about 300 yards next week, but that's neither here nor there for now. But we're at lock. Yeah. We've got the Saints and the Dolphins here getting ready to kick off. and we'll be getting the Grind the Line guys joining now.
We're here,
which I'm
What's
sure
up?
you guys are super stoked to talk about this game for 3 hours. We made our way through 45 minutes pretty comfortably. I can say. I was telling Dina and Grant, I was telling Will that last Thursday night by like the 30-minute mark, Blender had me talking wrestling, and we still had 15 minutes left in the show, and I was thinking, boy, this hosting thing is going to be really tough because we've got these two bad teams, and we made it like all the way up to lock, and so Blender's a little overrated. That's the conclusion I've come to here.
I was watching the show and I was screaming the answers. Like, you're not going to know the rest. He was asking you trivia questions for wrestling. I'm like,
I didn't know any of that stuff.
He's asking you, Mr. Perfect, what his finisher was. Like, you have no clue. You know,
Mr. Perfect. Wow.
I mean, it was the perfect flex, but like, that doesn't matter. There's no way Cards knows that. He knows other things that actually matter, but he doesn't know.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what matters. McCool, listen, he's got the best background in the business right now. Loving the lights, my man.
Everybody else here has a professional green screen and like good lighting setups, and I'm here like getting my face totally blown out by Excel spreadsheets with lights on in the background.
That's beautiful lighting, though. We can respect that.
No, it's nice. Margaret does a good job decorating my office. We're in the middle of a move right now, so usually there's like a shelf right behind me with like my valuable cards on it. But
where are your kids moving to?
Are you moving away from Grant? Is that what's going on? You're too close to Grant?
Yeah. Well, he actually moved south to Colorado Springs, and like that wasn't far enough. So in order to get farther, we have to go farther away from him. We're moving Midwest. Like we just closed on a house, or we just got a house we're renting from somebody who is still in escrow. They haven't even bought the house completely yet, but we're moving into it basically the day after they get out of escrow. So
is that like Iowa? What's Midwest? Indiana?
Like the Kentucky-Tennessee border.
Okay. You don't have to give me the exact GPS locations. I'm not going to come talk.
Yeah. It's kind of over there by Fort Campbell.
What's your address, McCool?
Merch, bro. But
at least do it when he's not live on air, so 100 other people can't take it down. But all right, we'll pass the baton to you guys to talk about this lovely game for the next 3 hours. You enjoy.
I may come back on. I may not.
Oh, you may? Really? You may not. You're welcome to come and join us.
May not. Yeah, probably not.
Unlikely. Yeah. The likelihood of him coming back is like the likelihood of the Dolphins scoring 30 points tonight or something.
Is this the last Monday Night Football? We're getting close, right?
No, we got Cleveland and Pittsburgh tomorrow, though. It could get worse.
Next week. Not tomorrow. Next week.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to plan when I'm going to come back on and hang out.
Next season. See you next year. All right. I'm hopping off, fellas. Have a good night.
See you later.
All righty, y'all. Take care. That's James McCool, aka Pater. But there was some shade being thrown at Blender. Nobody spends more time with Blender around as far as this crew. I think besides yourself, I believe. You want to defend Blender? Does he yammer too much about wrestling? Is that a problem?
No, of course not. I love Blender. He has his interests, he has his quirks for sure. But like after you've written a book with the guy, like pretty much used all of it anyway. So no, I don't. It doesn't bother me. He's very outspoken, but I don't have opinions on a lot of things. So those things don't matter to me.
Just whatever the model says, that's your opinion.
That's basically it. Yeah. And like sometimes that gets me in trouble. Like when my model says the Donovan Peoples-Jones projected for 17 fantasy points, and I don't live it down for a month. But it happens. I let the models do their thing, and sometimes they misbehave a little bit. They project guys over or under what I think they should be, but God forbid I argue with something that gets most everything else right. So whatever.
What are the 4 things you got wrong as opposed to the 30 things you got correct? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's easier to.
We appreciate you jumping on, by the way. You're filling in for Keach. Keach is not here. You're going to be here for as long as you want. And later on in the show, at halftime, we're going to bring in DFS's newest millionaire. I guess it's probably a lie because he won on Saturday, I believe, and somebody probably won $1 million on Sunday. But Shrek, he took that $1 million on Christmas. We're going to have a conversation with him. He's going to join us on halftime. That'll be good times for sure. Of course, this is Grind the Line. We watched the Monday Night Football game along with y'all. What's up, YouTube? Hit that like button if you have not done so already. Grant, you've been silent. Well, you making some bets over there? What have you wagered on this evening?
Yeah, I just threw an extra 500 on the Saints plus 170. I think the Saints win this game.
Give me a final score, because it was 37.5, I think was the total in this game. What did the model say?
35.5. The final score is going to be 17-13 Saints over Dolphins.
What do you think, James? What does the model say? Not your opinion, but what does the model have? What you spit out actual totals for games, for scores, or just players?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have I have a money line predictor. I don't have scores, but I have who I think should win the game. Let's see. I have Miami winning this game, but not by a whole bunch. And honestly, like with Ian Book in there, I don't know. That's one of those things where, like, even if the model says that I should be betting on New Orleans, with Ian Book in there, he's a complete wild card. We don't really know what he is. The idea is that he's kind of like a worse Taysom Hill, which is terrifying if you're betting on this team. But maybe he's just the same as Taysom Hill. They don't have to change the playbook much. So that's usually the thing that will bother you if you have a quarterback starting that doesn't work well with the playbook. That's one of the reasons why, like, the Ravens were still fine with Tyler Huntley, because Tyler Huntley has such a similar skill set to Lamar Jackson. And if Ian Book has a similar skill set to Taysom Hill, they don't have to change the game plan much. Maybe it's a little bit closer of a game, but Miami has not been bad. They do have quite a few of their offensive weapons available. Their defense is not terrible. I think they probably win this game, but I don't mind taking a bet on New Orleans here.
I just went to playerprofiler.com. Like, they give you the comps, right? And I put Book in there. His comp, according to playerprofiler.com, is Colt McCoy. So you get excited.
It ain't terrible.
Yeah, I thought that name seems better than it should be, because I don't watch a lot of college football. I know nothing about Book. I know he played for Notre Dame, and I guess he can run a little bit. But yeah, a not as good Taysom Hill is like, you don't put that endorsement in the back of the CD or the back of the box. Like, nobody's, I'm going to buy this.
Well, Sean Payton would. Sean Payton would buy 100 almost as good as Taysom Hill's.
I mean, rag on Sean Payton as much as you want, but he's had kind of just trash at different points and has done pretty well with it.
Yeah, I won't argue with that. I think Sean Payton's a good coach. I think that his weird undying love for Taysom Hill it's legitimately the weirdest thing in football. I can't.
He's got pictures on him, right? He's got pictures.
He's got it. It's got to be something. I don't understand. Like, there was that super wacky interview where the person was interviewing Sean Payton, and he was like, "Why did you guys pay Taysom Hill all this money?" And he was like, he's a 260-pound linebacker that can throw the ball and catch the ball. Like, all 30 teams would want interest in him if we put him on the waiver wire. And it's like, bro, I just can't believe the things that he says about this dude.
You know, I always wondered, like, what did Sean Payton do the year he got suspended from, like, when the NFL suspended him? I always wondered, and my prayers were answered. And Netflix said, "Here you go. Here's a movie. It's going to tell you what this guy did the year he did not coach football in the NFL." Were you guys as excited about that movie, the Kevin Smith movie?
Oh yeah,
as I am.
Oh yeah.
Did anybody ask for this?
I did.
You're gonna watch it. You're gonna like it.
Yeah. Oh, I am. I'm gonna. Kevin James. I don't know why. As much terrible stuff as he puts out, you know what? I wouldn't pay to go see it, but if it's on, I'll watch it.
Again, another thing you don't put in the back of the box. I wouldn't pay to go see this, but, like, if, you know, the remote's too far away and I'm really comfortable, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Kevin James. Why did I say Kevin Smith? That's Silent Bob. That's a different person. Totally different world, but same concept though. Hey, if you guys want to
happen in this game, I feel like it's the lines
it's
are down.
3 and are you ahead of me? It's 3rd and 3 right now. Book's got the ball at his own 23.
Oh gosh, I feel like something bad's about to happen here.
Is it about to be a pick 6 or something?
Yep.
Yep. There it is.
Well, I'm gonna lose some money.
That was just like Colt McCoy, actually. It's a pretty good comp. Yeah, man. That's and the Sean Payton face is pretty funny too. Well, the lines are going to change. We'll talk about it. This is Grind the Line. If you guys are not aware, we talk about line.
Yeah, Miami's now minus 450.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I mean, in a game where the over-under is only 37.5, if there's a defensive touchdown, I mean, that's going to lock some things in for them.
Did you play Showdown, James?
I thought about it, and then I looked at the Miami Dolphins running back situation and decided not to.
It's probably
Put more money on the Saints.
What's the line?
Plus 310.
That's a big jump. I mean, I know, 7 points, like James was saying, is more in this game than other games, and who knows how functional this offense is going to be for New Orleans, but that's still a pretty big number.
Oh, it plays $4 instead of 400.
New Orleans will get the ball first in the second half,
and then the odds decrease. Really,
man, you got to pounce, man. You got to be quick.
I was, but for some reason it put the comma in the wrong place. I'm putting 400.
If you guys want to talk to us in the YouTube world, join our Discord, rotogrinders.com/Discord. Does not cost you anything. It's a free Discord channel. Some of our channels are free, some are premium. This is a free channel. Jump in the live stream chat channel. That is the free channel. And Devin, producer Devin, we'll keep an eye on it. Grant, we'll keep an eye on it. I'm sure we'll check it out. Whatever's on your mind. If you have any thoughts as far as basketball going forward later on tonight, there's still 4 games yet to tip. By the Lillard is going to play. If you guys are not aware, he played some basketball tonight. Grant, I'm also fully tilting because I had a lineup. I had Plumlee in there, and I swapped it at the last second. And Plum Dog is just annihilating. He is smashing. He's like taking souls out there, and not even the points, not even the boards. He's got a pile of stocks as well. Oh, it's rough.
I'm 100% losing money tonight.
Yeah, I think I might too. We'll see. I don't have any Plumlee, so I don't know how popular he was, but that might be a problem.
I mean,
the only thing that I'm looking at here is Christian Wood PRA. I have it at 30.5. That's all I need, and then just everything else doesn't matter.
I have him over 19 and a half points.
Yeah, that's good too. Yeah.
There's a potential blowout, which is the problem. They're down by 20 with 7 to go in the third. Wood is at 11, 6, and 3, which is okay. Not great. And
he
he loses the
third quarter strong, otherwise they're screwed.
Yes, that will be a problem for sure. Other things in basketball world that's going on. Oh, Chalky Knight is going nuts for Minnesota. 4-4-2 to start the game. That's pretty solid for basically somebody who was still minimum. And Jaylen Brown, 0-for-4, yet to score. We're just like 7-8 minutes into the game, but there you go. Keep an eye on that. Pritchard has a 3, and that's basically it. Boston down 5 early.
Man, I really wish Bogdanovich could make a shot.
Trae Young gets ruled in, and it's just like,
Oh no, I have the over on Bogdanovich. Points over on points and rebounds, over points, assists and rebounds, over 20 points, over 25 points, over 30 points.
1 for 6 so far for Bogdanovich. Reddish, though, 19 points in the first half. He's not getting burned at all. Yeah. He's still getting his 7 for 10, 4 for 6 from 3. And Young's got 16 and 5 against the Bulls, down 8, 1 minute to go in the second.
Young only ended up like 6% owned in contests with nobody else around him, which that didn't make any sense to me.
Well, because most people just people adjusted their Bogdanovich stuff and their Reddish stuff, and they never really thought, well, wait, maybe I can just play Trae Young. Yeah. Because they already wanted to play Harden. They already wanted to play LaMelo, and they wanted to play Brown. I'm guessing that's what happened. They weren't really thinking about that plan. But
I don't know why. I don't know why people would have gotten LaMelo over Trae Young after the news, but I digress. I mean, I'm winning that side, so.
Yeah. Man, geez. All right, so 7-0 early. Miami against the Saints. 5 minutes in, it can't get any worse for Book. Who's Book's backup? Do we know who his backup is?
Blake Bortles.
Why isn't Bortles playing?
Bortles is worse than Book?
He's active, so he might come in.
Oh, man. I forgot about Blake Bortles.
That honestly, Grant, that's probably what you're hoping for. With all your money on the Saints, you're hoping the Book gets benched after the first quarter.
Yeah.
When did he come in? Has he been a part of the Saints for a while? I feel like
he signed him this week.
Okay. Yeah.
They signed him this week. They activated him off the practice squad this morning. They didn't think that he was going to be able to play, but we'll see.
Oh, man. That's interesting.
I have a feeling this is going to be my worst betting day of the year.
At least do it towards the end of the year, right?
Yeah. Deductions. Am I right?
Yep. There you go. Exactly right.
Bogdanovich made a 3. Oh, he's got 6.
What does he got to get over? He needs 20?
I think he needs to get over What does he need to get over? Over 17.5. And then he needs to get over 21.5 points and rebounds and 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So not looking good. He's at 7.
A little bit of a run for the Rockets. Got it up to a 15-point deficit. So just keep it within range.
And Wood scored no points in that. Yeah, I'm going to lose.
He scored a rebound. He had a rebound.
I need points.
How chalky
Let's
is
just have
Christopher end
points.
up?
How
Do
chalky
you
is
have
he?
it in front of you, James? Christopher.
He was like 40% or something.
Oof, man. How about the Waba? The people think they took Christopher over Nwaba? I got shares of both.
Yeah,
Waba's looking good. Christopher, not so much.
Nwaba is, I think, 20% maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, Nwaba's 23%. I think Christopher is like 40% or something like that. I don't have Knight, and that's the problem right now. But
You don't have his ownership in front of you, or he's not in your team?
I don't have him on my lineup.
Yeah.
I think he's over 50.
Oh yeah, he's well over 50 for sure.
He's got to be. Yeah. Well, him and people just paired him with JaVale. I assume that was like the logical,
Probably.
Just play both cheapies.
Oh, Knight was
taking a peek.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Depending on where you're at, it's Knight's 35%.
Oh, it's lower than I expected, actually.
50 and some.
Okay.
I don't know. I hated this slate, so I only played one lineup.
I had Knight projected for 42% ownership, so 35 makes a little bit of sense.
Well,
Yeah.
that's just the like I have like 20K in basketball bets today, so I'm just entering one lineup, threw in the $100 single entry, and that's pretty much it.
I mean, this slate
Get all the write-ups out of the way.
This slate has been just as hard as any slate over the last week, just because you have literally 50 players that are worthwhile to play. I talked about it this morning on Morning Grind Blender. Like, when you have this many options, making the right choice of those options, it's just variance. It's hard.
We were talking about how traditionally, like on DraftKings, if a guy's 3.3K and he's projected for 26 points, it's like, oh, well, this guy's going to be good. But like, if there's a whole pile of those guys, like how useful those guys are now or on tonight's slate compared to how they were under like a traditional slate is totally different. I mean, that's trying to adjust your brain to that. I'm sure you've noticed that as well. Yeah. It's like, okay, 25 points, at 3K. Did I really miss out? That's fine, whatever. But I don't need that. It's not necessary. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. It's been hard for the last like week or so. My models have thrived in it just because the industry is so bad at stuff like this, but it's hard. It's really, really hard to, and like, it's just as hard trying to talk to people about like, oh, well, did I do something wrong with this lineup? And like trying to review lineups, because like somebody could build an awesome lineup and it doesn't even matter. Like, you made all the right choices. You just lost because other people made other right choices.
Have you had the conversation with somebody where like, how did I lose? I put up 340. This is BS, man. This isn't, I mean, I've taken down tournaments. I've seen tournaments can take it down with 290. How does 340 lose? It's like, well,
absolute scores mean nothing, man. Especially when every $3,300 player is projected for 25 fantasy points.
Yeah. In our chat, D Johnson says DeRozan sub 3%. Man, yeah, nobody played DeRozan tonight, but he's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with him.
Right.
Vuk less than 1% in the monster on FanDuel. I don't know how Vuk's doing, but I'm sure it's because, well, JaVale, I guess, is what forced that. The main thing, I'm guessing. But yeah, that's pretty wild.
My optimizer is trying to force DeMar DeRozan at me, and I didn't listen.
And I guess he's doing pretty well. Right? Yeah, 21, 2, and 5. Yeah. Everybody at the beginning, and Levine, both of them are doing great. Levine's 23, 3, and 5.
That's awesome. I have Levine over on 35 PR or PRA. So that's good. That's good to know.
17-point lead there for Charlotte. Back to the football game. Still 7-0. Miami. It's about that time though where Devin chimes in. Oh, but here, actually, before you bring Devin on, as far as we do the what is it called? The flash drafts on DK. So in the chat, they're talking about there's props already up on Prize Picks for the second half for Book. And would it be an interesting thought to potentially bet them under in case he gets benched?
Or because he's terrible.
Either way, like you have multiple outs, I guess.
What's it set at?
I don't know. Let's pull him up. That was a bad pass there by Tua. We still don't have a big enough sample to like. I know it's like dumb, either good or bad, but I'm not sure if Tua's good or bad. I don't know. Maybe somewhere in the middle.
Here's the thing. Tua's ceiling is Russell Wilson. That's basically like what you want Tua to be, right? They're the same like size, they're the same kind of archetype QB, but
2017 Russ, not 2021 Russ, I assume.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like good
Okay.
Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that that's such a rare occurrence. Like there have been a lot of like kind of short, shifty quarterbacks that have tried to do that, and it's basically been like Russell Wilson that's done it, and another short quarterback that's gotten there is Drew Brees. But if what you're basically saying is like, oh, well,
Kyler Murray,
that this guy and who?
Kyler Murray. There's been a lot more recently.
Yeah, Kyler Murray, but like of the pantheon of quarterbacks that have been drafted over the last like 2 decades, I mean, if that's what you're hoping for is like kind of that exception, that's really, really hard to hit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He might be good, but it's maybe at best he's like a game manager Russell Wilson and not like the ceiling version. I don't know. I think it's too early to tell.
That's kind of where I'm at too. By the way, 84.5 passing yards per book in the second half is the current number. Is that interesting to you, James?
Oh.
Do you have anything as far as, is that about right or what?
I mean, I think you can wait on that and figure out if they're going to be trailing or not.
But if they're trailing, the chances of him probably getting booted is probably more likely.
Not really. Depends on how much they're trailing. But
Okay.
I don't think they take them out regardless. If they're down by 14, like, all right, let's figure it out. Bortles isn't really entrenched in this offense. Blah blah blah. This and that. Hither thither, to and fro.
A minute and a half till the next flash draft, by the way.
Flash
All
draft.
right, let's do it.
I had
Can we pick
book.
defenses in flash draft?
I don't think I've ever seen them on a flash draft.
Man.
But you're not required to pick a player from both teams, so.
Well, that's a nice pass by Tua.
Darn it.
Completed to number 17? Who's 17? I don't know who that is. Oh, that was Waddle. Okay.
Well, don't you feel dumb?
Wow. I'm sorry, I don't know Waddle's number off the top of the dome. I guess I should.
I took Parker
Not
over
really.
Waddle for tonight.
He was much cheaper, right?
2,000, I think. Maybe on DK.
I had them both like kind of overpriced a little bit, but of course, like that's why you play them, because they're overpriced, and one touchdown might be good enough, and that's that. I think I had Gesicki and dollar for dollar play.
Faded Gesicki.
I'm
Oh,
going
yeah,
to lose
Charlotte-
money.
Charlotte pulling away. They're up by over 20 now.
Yeah.
Got about 15 seconds till the next flash draft.
Let's do it.
I'm in already.
Same here.
James, did you get in the flash draft?
I didn't. I was paying attention to something else.
Silly person paying
I know.
attention to people and
I know.
things.
So we got Maher, the kicker for New Orleans. That's Ingram and Gesicki times 1.5.
Gesicki.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to play Gesicki.
Yep.
I'm going to take Ingram.
Classic.
I'm taking Maher. Yeah, Gesicki at 86%. How do you not take him?
Double up Ingram.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, good double up. Devin.
I'm taking another kicker. I'm taking Sanders.
Yeah, I'm
of
going
Gaskin or
Sanders
Ingram.
too.
I'm all about the kickers. Ugh. Ingram is popular again. People want that 1.5. Tua versus Waddle versus Parker.
I feel like people are going to go for Tua.
Is that a Wildcat? Who just carried that ball? And they're saying that was a live ball, and it was a fumble, and New Orleans has the ball. They're probably going to review it. And then I missed my pick.
Dean. Classic. Dean.
I thought I clicked. Who fumbled?
Can't take
Double
running backs.
Gesicki.
Can't take a Miami running back.
Oh, that was Lindsey. That's who it was. I forgot about Lindsey.
I think
He might
that's a
have been down,
fumble.
though. He might have. I can't tell.
I don't know. It never touched the ground and they never whistled it dead.
there's no good angle there to see what's going on.
Well, you see he didn't hit the ground and they never ruled forward progress. His shoulder hits, but the ball's.
It comes out really late. The whistle didn't blow there?
Oh, I missed my pick. Darn it.
Well, it looks like I'm winning all the money.
Not mine and Grant's. We've been forgiven, I presume. They're probably charging me.
Yeah,
I have never
They took
seen
it out.
them. I have never seen them not say, "We're going to give it to you this time."
I like how they pretend it's like they don't normally do that. It's like we'll hook you up this once.
Just this one time, every time.
Man, Jaylen Brown is not doing anything.
What
They're
is
doing
that?
stuff for Boston?
What is it? 28 PRA.
How many points though?
He's at 16 points.
Oh, I need 4 more. Need this game to get a little bit closer.
We
What is
need
this technical jargon?
One
PRA
more shift.
player
Points, rebounds,
points?
assists. You dumb.
Oh, yeah.
We need one more shift from him, and I think we get there so easy.
Terry Rozier just hit another 3. He will not stop. He's at 27 now, and they're up by 26. So that is a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
need one more shift from him.
Also, Houston plays tomorrow night, so they're probably going to pull him. You know, they're not going to force them. I don't think, unless it's
Yeah, I gotta
close
agree.
enough.
Was that ruled a fumble?
No, they
I don't think
overturned it.
so. Yeah.
Son of a biscuit.
Hmm.
Looks like I'm going broke tonight, guys.
I think you're going to be all right, Grant. James, you got a
Now I
couch
know
there
I'm
in,
not going
in
to be
Iowa
because you're a
or
mush.
Kentucky.
Say that again, Dean.
You got a couch in Kentucky for Grant?
No, actually, we're selling our couch. So I really don't even have a couch for Grant out there.
Well, all right.
It's gonna be a fun move. 17 hours. It's gonna be hard, I think.
Yeah, it's not a short trip.
No.
You do like how much you bringing all this stuff, or you're still trying to get rid of everything, or what?
Not everything. Like, we're gonna keep some stuff. We'll keep the workout equipment. We'll keep like the dressers and stuff like that in our bed frame, but we're gonna get rid of our couch. We're gonna get rid of like some of the unnecessary furniture and upgrade some stuff once we get out there.
What
Like
city
your
is it
U-Haul
near?
or something?
It's near Fort Campbell.
Well, like, Greg Monroe is officially unleashed. He's officially playing tonight. He was playing in like the German league, you said, Grant? He was
Chinese
playing-
league.
Munich or
Munich
something?
and Russia.
So he's been playing basketball, I guess, is the point.
Yeah.
If
Are
he
you
wasn't
going to be
designing
on
out.
the Tennessee side or the Kentucky side?
Tennessee side.
Nice. So you'll have sports betting there.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, Nashville has, or Tennessee has sports betting.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see what's going on in the Zoom. Oh, is it regarding all right, just pulling up. Let's see, Devin, is it regarding the Memphis Phoenix game? All right, let's take a peek at this. They're asking about who to captain in the Memphis Phoenix game tonight. Well, I mean, it's got to be JaVale, right? That's like the
Yeah.
I haven't run anything yet, but I'd imagine. Let's run some optimals. Let's take a peek as far as the Memphis Phoenix game.
The answer is Desmond Bain.
Yeah, the answer is Desmond Bain. Like,
What?
for
Oh,
sure.
you on the Bain train with me?
I am. Yeah, I have over on him too.
Oh, I hit all his alt overs too.
Yeah, I really like him. My models have liked him for a while now. He's the 11th best. No, not the 11th. 8th best value in my models.
Oh gosh, and Dean was poo-pooing him.
I have him projected
was?
for 37 fantasy points.
Too low.
Hold on, let me check my props.
All right, let's pull this. So I'm going to cap it like at 70%. I just like Bane's obviously a good play too. I think Ja's a good play as well, obviously. But I presume when it comes to the salary, dollar for dollar, yeah, well.
Bain might be my favorite player in the NBA.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
He's a
Yeah.
rookie too. He's so good.
He's not a rookie, it's his second year.
Oh, second year. I'm sorry.
Who was your favorite player last year? How is Bane your favorite player now? Like, out of nowhere, he leapfrogs everybody?
Yes, because he won me like 20 grand this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
On
all it takes.
sports
Some
bets.
money. That's how you get one over.
Yes. Yes, I'm essentially a prostitute.
No, you're a mercenary. You're a mercenary.
No. I'm a prostitute.
I have Desmond Bain projected for 23 real life points. So whatever.
We got a 48-yarder
Good.
for the Dolphin kicker. That's good. Got him he's in my cast showdown lineup. All right, very excited. All right, this is interesting. So I ran 100 optimals for funsies, and Booker landed in a 29% for captain, Morant at 29%, McGee 13, Bain 11,
Okay.
Paul 11, and then Triple J 3%, Jalen Smith 2%. How is that happening? He's projected for 23 points tonight.
Yeah.
All right, good for him. He's only 1,000
with
bucks,
8
I guess
now.
that's why.
And Crowder out and whoever else out.
Yeah, Elf might come back for what it's worth, but I don't even know if he would be.
When I saw that news, I'm like, wait, who does it? Oh, Bogdanovich, another 3.
There he goes. Get excited.
And he missed another 3. He's shooting.
That's what matters.
Yeah, just keep chucking, man. Charlotte up by 28, by the way. Ugh.
We're just gonna give our good juju to that game. Just gonna give good thoughts, good prayers that Christian Wood gets one more stint.
Right now on the court for Houston is Knicks, Queen, Tice, Brooks, and Şengün. Is that the crew you want leading you back?
Tyson Şengün are good.
Tice had a nice little run in the first quarter, or first half, whatever it was.
I think they need to get it to like within 20 for Wood to even have a shot.
Yeah. Tice seems like a guy that could be like the 9th best player on a decent team. Like he shouldn't be playing 0 minutes. Like when he was in Boston.
He was good for the Celtics.
Yeah, he was all right. You know,
like
nothing special.
He would be really good for a team that needed like that presence down low. Like if you had like he reminds me of like a Nurkic type. He's just like a lock down there.
Oh, Bogdanovich at 11, getting hot.
Uh-oh, get excited. How many $1,000 do you have wagered on Bogdanovich?
I have about 4K on him.
On the 19.
Well, you have over 30 points too, which is like that. There's no chance that
it's 17.5, I think, and then 21.5 PR, 24.5 PRA, 20 plus points, 25 plus points, 30 plus points.
Okay.
PR is
going for 20
points and rebounds.
Yeah. That was an accident. I didn't mean to bet that, but yeah, if I can get 20 points from him, I'll be very happy.
Yeah. That'll mitigate a lot of the pain.
And I can actually afford my house if that happens.
And if not,
then I can still afford my house.
Oh, well, that's well. What's the fun of that? No
betting.
jacuzzi or no sauna or whatever. Did you ever buy your sauna or jacuzzi or whatever it was?
I haven't bought it yet. We're waiting on it. Like we didn't really need to, but it made my fiance feel better not to. She also doesn't know how much money I have in my account.
Did you not tell her how successful you've been this year?
Oh, she know. I did mention it the other day. Like, oh yeah,
for the first time.
3. Well, she was worried about money. She's like, "Are you sure we can afford that?" I'm like, "Babe, I've made $350,000 in the last month and a half." She's like, "Oh, I don't want to hear that."
That's how Margaret gets. She never wants to know about how much I play or how much I make.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Is that for the best? Is that you find it's for the best, James? Like because knowing, then all of a sudden, like you want one person in your ear, like when you're already doing bad, if you're having a rough spell, you'll need somebody saying like, "Well, you kind of suck now. Maybe you consider doing something else."
I mean, it's all a mental thing, and I think that like, it's one thing if you're irresponsible and you like could use some support and saying like, "Hey, you should not be doing the things that you're doing," but. I think that if you're responsible about it and you understand your own play and you understand your process and like you don't suck, then it's better to just not know. It's much better.
If you have like a big hit though, do you give her like kind of a heads up, like, I did well and like no specifics, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, usually I'll let her know that like I had the hit, but I won't tell her how much I had in play.
Yeah, And in her head, does she think it's like $500 or $1,000 or something like that? Or it didn't even go that far. It's not even worth digging into.
She probably thinks it's somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with $500 or
No.
$1,000.
I don't think Bobby Sue has any clue how much of a hit.
No.
Is
she not
so
curious, or she just thinks
being
out of sight, out of mind? It's better to just be naive about it, I guess. I'm not
Occasionally I put it in hot tub terms. I'm like, I won or lost hot tub money.
How many? Like, okay, I won 5 hot tubs.
Well,
kind of thing?
I just say hot tub money. So it's anywhere from 3,000 to 15,000.
I gotcha. You got to get the good hot. If you're gonna buy a hot tub, no half measures. Get the good one, man. Splurge.
No, 5K. You don't need a very good hot tub. I mean, don't
I
go
want the bubbles
bottom
and all the. Well, bubbles is standard, I assume. The hot
yeah,
tubs.
bubbles. Is, I'm getting probably LED lighting, stereo, and enough seating for 6 people.
Okay.
Like you also have to realize you get like a 10-person hot tub. That's a lot on the heating bill.
Yeah. Do you even know 10 people that would be willing to hang out with you in a hot tub?
Yes. I know that's a surprise to you because you don't.
You're not rounding up or anything? You're not fudging the numbers? It's legit 10?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Colorado Springs, no. But in 6 other cities, yes.
Yeah, but nobody's flying in for your hot tub.
I would fly in for the hot tub, to be fair.
Suck it, Dean.
That's one person. You're at one.
It looks like there's a question, another one from Alexander in the chat.
Oh, in regards to, I don't have the chat pulled up right now as far as, let's see what it says. Give me 1 second. What? I'm slipping over here. Okay. This has got to be for you, James, because I see the theory of DFS for Christmas. Traded Pops to the theory of DFS for Christmas. Of course, you and Blender, you mentioned before, you co-wrote that, I presume. The two of you guys wrote that together. Can you ask James if there's anything he'd recommend before starting the course? Well, go ahead, James.
I think the course mostly covers everything that you would need to start. Like it covers a lot of the beginner and then the intermediate, and we go into a couple of the advanced concepts as well. But I think that it is helpful to kind of like develop an idea of variability and uncertainty in life as well. So like I read a lot of decision theory books, and I would recommend that if you want another piece of reading or like another thing to kind of like dive into that will help you grasp a lot of the concepts in the course, you could also go pick up another book called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman.
Yep.
That's a really, really good book. And it really helps a lot because if you can think of life as something that is filled with uncertainty, it helps you understand that DFS is also filled with that. And it kind of helps you place those concepts into a more real realm that you can apply things to rather than just DFS. So I'd probably say to look a little bit more into decision theory as well. And the only other thing that I would say is go get a RotoTracker subscription, because RotoTracker is just like basically essential, I think, if you want to take yourself seriously starting out playing DFS. If you can't track your play, if you can't track how well you're doing or how badly you're doing or where your weak spots are, then you're never going to be able to improve the way that you want to improve. So that would probably be what I would say. Get a RotoTracker subscription, get Theory DFS, and then go buy some sort of decision theory book so that you can more ground yourself in the idea of uncertainty and odds and stuff like that.
Have you ever read any of Dan Ariely's stuff?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I would suggest it. It's really good.
Got
More
it.
about human rationality.
What's the name?
Dan Ariely.
The audio book, is it all Blender? Or do you guys split up the audio, or who does the voice?
It's a lot of Blender, as you can imagine, but yeah, we split it up quite a bit. I handle a lot of the more like technical speak and a lot of the more kind of like math based stuff. And he handles a lot of the kind of like intuitive stuff because he has a lot more experience since he's 90 than I do.
By the way, Pritchard is getting there. Pritchard currently 10-4-1. Nice. Jalen's coming around 10-3-2 with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Langford has 6 stocks just for fun.
My God.
Not doing anything. Well, 4, 2, 2, and 6 stocks. If you played Langford, he's definitely getting there. Pretty good start for Horford as well. 7 for 6, a steal and a block. Might get himself a cheap triple-double. And Charlotte, Houston, it's a 25-point lead, less than 8 minutes to go. I don't think we're seeing – well, Hayward's still out there for Charlotte. So is McDaniels.
I mean, also,
yeah.
they have 10 players.
Yeah,
I
they
wouldn't be
might
surprised
have
if
to
Wood
put
gets
Wood.
another rotation.
Well, I think like the Waba and Christopher might come back for a pinch, but like Gordon's done. Like they're not going to roll old man Gordon out there anymore.
I think they're so short that I'm holding out hope. Like if Tease doesn't, because Tease could come out for Garuba, I guess. That's the only way that Wood doesn't come back in, as if Garuba comes back in. So that's kind of what I'm watching.
Good old Garuba.
Yeah. Or just Sengun can play the. I mean, they're playing Sengun and Tykes next to each other right now. It's too big.
Sengun could play the 5. Yeah.
But
not looking great. Totally agree.
No, I'm kind of bummed out as well. Interesting, by the way, 0 carries so far for Gaskin. 4 carries for Lindsey, 4 carries for Duke Johnson. Gaskin, nothing. And 4 catches so far for Waddle. He's getting peppered. 4 catches, 26 yards. Smythe 2 for 18. Gaskin just caught the ball, so he is playing in this game. So they are playing 3 running backs, but no carries just yet for Gaskin.
Bogdanovich up to 13.
Oh, we're gonna get there, dude. I believe in you.
As long as Dean doesn't say it, because then it won't happen if Dean says it.
What am I supposed to do?
Dean is the worst mush of all time.
There's no such thing. James, of all people, and I don't want to speak for James. He's right here. He can speak for himself. He's a math guy, right? He believes that mushes aren't real. Like it's a nonsense thing that people like to. It's fun, I guess, to talk about. But the concept of a mush, you don't even recognize, I imagine.
No,
James, do you play craps at all?
I do play craps, yeah.
Is it insanity for me to actually believe that someone yelling 7 at the table will more likely make it more likely happen? Dean's acting like that's the most ridiculous thing to be superstitious about that one particular thing. Like, oh, you're such a smart guy. Like, you're supposed to be on team math. Why would you ever think that? That's ridiculous.
Do I sound like that? I'm sorry to anybody listening if I sound like that. But yeah, that is the point. You can't be on team math and also believe the guy next to you saying, come on, 7, all of a sudden makes the 7 come.
Oh, you can be.
Here's the thing. I think that superstition, in the same way as like religion, belongs in certain ways for certain people because it provides them confidence, right? So like, I'm a big believer that if you are a optimistic person and not a pessimistic person, you'll have more luck come your way because you're focusing more on the good things in the universe rather than the bad things. So you'll see more good things. Now, if that says that a superstition is going to lead to more good things happening, if you are a more optimistic person, then okay, I guess I can believe that like optimism leads to upside rather than pessimism leading to downside. So that's
comes like individual performance, but like when it comes to like the chances of rolling a 7, the odds are the odds of the odds of the odds.
So you believe in the power of positive thinking to an extent.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, so do I.
But that's not a controllable.
It's not a controllable, but neither is like a hot streak or a mentality thing. Like we can't control for that kind of thing, but it exists.
I mean, hot streak. So my thing with hot streak, especially when it comes to baseball is such a confidence driven sport.
Mm-hmm.
While you can't quantify that analytically, and while you can't fit, hot streaks are a real thing. You just can't quantify when they start or they end. I 100% believe
you can actually quantify when they'll end. You can't quantify when they'll start. You can quantify when they'll end with like
baseball,
with like a 68% confidence.
Oh, wow. So hot streaks are a thing.
Last year, it was either last year or the year before that, I ran a regression model on 3-point shooting in the NBA. And it was basically if a hot streak starts, it usually lasts 3 games, and then it'll drop down within a standard deviation of their average. So that doesn't mean that they're going to go from being on a hot streak to being bad, but it usually means the hot streak will end after 3 games. But you can't predict when they'll start. That's the hard part.
baseball hot streaks, you're like so-and-so, what a clutch hit when it's like a bloop base hit over the third baseman, or you hit an absolute missile like a rocket, 420 feet and it's caught in the outfield. That's an out, but the blooper over the third baseman that, was hit terribly.
Right.
You get the barrel, it's an out. Oh, well, what a clutch hit. And like when people do that, like that's what drives me nuts. It's just like, well, that wasn't like, he's not hot because he, was a blooper and the positioning of the outfielders and whatever. I mean, baseball is different than basketball, obviously, but I think Grant took at the baseball, and that just, if you say I'm going to open up a bakery shop or whatever, and I feel positive it's going to do well. Okay, I agree with the thought process of power of positivity, all that. But like again, when you're messing with math, the math is the math.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think that there is something to be said about like positive energy and mentality and stuff like that. There are certain things that are not quantifiable, but certainly matter and have an effect. But the math is certainly math. Like I'm gonna hold with the models well over that.
By the way, we need some positive thinking that Nathan Knight's going to come back. He's in the locker room currently. He's hurt.
Well,
so
my positive energy is shot because Garuba's it. So I think we're screwed on this one.
Pritchard's going to get there for the record. He smashed the first half. Brown is fine. But Houston is down by 22 and Brooks is the only starter out there. They're in a timeout. So maybe something will change. They come back with 5 minutes, 10 seconds, but probably not.
Just give me one more stint from Wood. Just finish out the game. That's all I ask.
Get him a double at least. 26 minutes. Jeez, no fouls, 26 minutes. How does that happen?
Sucks.
If they're trying to lose, I guess is the point. Like, Houston has no interest in winning.
Yeah. Someone was asking if I like the White over on assists. If you're getting it minus 125, then no. You got it minus 110. It offers a little bit of value, but not much. It's funny. I sent my dad my bets, and he likes to track them. And he is very confused today with all the Bogdanoviches. I'm betting on. I got the over on threes. I'm like, no, wrong Bogdanovich. Well, it doesn't look like you're gonna get the points. No, the other one's at 19.5. This one's at 17.5.
Yeah. Utah Bogdanovich, he's not done so much. Well, it's early. No Mitchell in that game. According to the chat, Knight has lost 3 DK points since being in the locker room. I guess I don't know what he's lost, but that's rough. Well, it must be. Well, yeah, it says DK, so that's not DK. It's that.
Yeah.
What's 3 points on DK? 2 rebounds, the 2 assists.
Yeah.
How do you lose 2 assists? You can lose 1 assist, but 2 assists. How is he even getting assists? I don't think he's a big assist guy.
Maybe they attributed. I don't know.
Who knows what's going on? 3rd and 3 for the Saints. Book back to pass, scrambling a little bit. I bet over on his rushing yards, and he's rushing. It's not going to work out. He comes back to the line of scrimmage. 4th and 3, and I guess we're going to punt. Man.
Oh man, I'm for sure losing money on foosball.
Well, you have the Saints at what? 300? What three plus 300, something like that?
I have plus 150, plus 200, plus 300, and now the line is at now they're at plus 500. They're looking good.
The chat is saying that I'm confused. Well, I'm confused how somebody can lose 3 points on DK. Like, I guess you can lose 2 assists, but that seems rough. That's rare to happen, especially for a guy that's not going to assist a lot anyway. I don't know. They're always tinkering for adjustments and such.
Tragic that Wood isn't going to come back in. That's such a bad beat. 26 minutes on that with 10 guys.
What?
Is McDaniels closing here? Do they have are they down? This is basically it. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oubre is on the bench, so they're playing McDaniels. They only have 10 guys, I guess. Charlotte, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of their starters is playing in lieu of Oubre. McDaniels, I guess that makes sense.
The Bogdanoviches are brothers, right?
No,
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
No, the McDaniels brothers are brothers, I believe. The one in Charlotte, one in Minnesota, I'm pretty sure they're brothers. But the Bogdanovich brothers, no, they're not brothers. Really certain of that.
It's just a weird.
I mean, maybe it's a popular last name where they're from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to think so. Yeah. I mean, like
Bogdan is Serbian.
Yeah, Croatian. Bojan is Croatian. Bogdan is Serbian.
And Serbia and Croatia are very close to each other. I'm pretty sure they border each other. I didn't know there'd be geography, but I think that's true.
They're all part of, they're all like right next to each other, like just north of Greece. You have Bosnia, Serbia, Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, Slovakia.
You're just naming countries in Europe now?
Croatia. No, those are all in the same, what's the Baltic region?
Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Is
were.
the Baltic Sea? That's the thing.
Yeah, Eastern European countries.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
They're all in the same basic area.
Where's Montenegro?
I believe that's up near Belgium.
Like, isn't that where? I think that's where Jokic is from. I think he's from Montenegro. Am I wrong on that?
From the Balkans. Actually,
he's
no,
Serbian.
Yeah, it's actually right under Serbia.
Okay.
What was I thinking?
What about Cote d'Ivoire?
I was
Where's
thinking
that?
of Luxembourg. Where's what?
Where's Cote d'Ivoire? Where's that?
Is that a country?
It is. It's in Africa, I believe.
Look at the big brain on Devin.
We're naming countries, all right?
Luxembourg, go.
Luxembourg's a tiny country with a surprising
one of the
amount
smallest in the world.
Huh?
I think it's one of the smallest in the world.
Yeah, could be.
Is Vatican City considered officially a country? I know it's called Vatican City, but like, is
I
that
believe
officially
it.
a
I
country?
believe it is. It's its own
Because that might be
country.
That might be one of the smallest countries in the world. I don't know.
Smallest.
I feel
Vatican
like that's on
City
the
is the
board.
smallest country in the world.
Bam! Nailed it.
It is just a half square kilometer.
It's pretty small.
Monaco is number 2.
They got money there in Monaco, it's my understanding.
Naro. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Tuvalia is number 3. San Marino. Liechtenstein is number 6. Marshall Islands, I
yeah.
knew that one. St. Kitts and Nevis, the Maldives, Malta,
Sure.
Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenades, Barbados. Yeah, Luxembourg's not even close. St. Lucia, I knew about that. Singapore is smaller than I thought. Huh.
What's the chat's asking about? They're trying to build something later. Harden over on free throws. I don't know what his free throw number
Just
is.
bet they Harden over on points. Oh gosh.
Well, it's probably a big number though.
Oh, Bogdanovich is at 16. He's about to get 17 if he makes this free throw, and he's going to be at 20. I'm going to need like one more 3 from him, and I hit everything.
I have Harden at 8 free throws made.
So 6.5 is a number on Prize Picks. So you'd like over that, I presume.
What's the line on it?
6.5. It's
Prize Picks.
yeah. It's
okay. Yeah, then I'd want that over on it. Yeah,
yeah. They tend to put their numbers a little bit low. Like they try to entice you to bet the overs. I know traditionally, your unders are more successful as a whole, but Prize Picks, what I've noticed, like their lines tend to be a little bit lower, and of course, a lot of times take advantage of them because their lines are not adjusted for news that breaks immediately. They've been a lot faster of late. I'm not sure if you play much Prize Picks, but they take names off the board really, really fast now. It used to be there was like a window of like 15, 20 minutes or so where you can take advantage of it. They hired a new guy or something. They're on top of stuff.
They've been paying attention this year.
Yeah. It's kind of a bummer. I'm trying to see if there's anything else interesting in the late slate. Porzingis, 23.5 points. Lillard, 29 points. Just straight up points.
Lillard,
I think Nance is going to do a game. What do you have?
29.64.
For Lillard?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you have for Nance? What do you have for
that?
fantasy points for Nance? Larry Nance. I liked him. I like him tonight. 29.5 FanDuel points. You have over or under that?
29.5 FanDuel?
Yeah. That's their scoring in Prize Picks, FanDuel scoring.
I'm almost positive under that. Yeah, I have 22.
Yeah, don't you feel dumb, you dumb.
I like Nance. Nance is like the only big they have. They have one other guy that's just.
It's just a hard matchup for bigs. That's a hard spot for them.
And he hasn't been as good this year as he was like last year. And I still want to make Nance happen, but
Gotta make Nance, dude.
Dance that makes
There
you
you go.
dance.
just because it rhymes doesn't mean it has to be true.
Well, it's also a play on a song. You dumb.
Dance,
Very
dance.
cool that Derek White has taken
Hands that make you dance.
What song?
Hands that make you dance.
Who's this?
Are you serious right now, dude?
I don't think I know. I'm not sure if I know the song. I don't think Grant knows it either.
Color me surprised.
Make you dance? Who sings Make You Dance? Oh, I'm aware of Meghan Trainor. I'm aware of her existence. I probably heard it before,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that was her.
Bands? Is it bands?
Yeah, I don't think
What?
that's Megan Trainor. I think it's a bands that make you dance, Dean.
Yeah.
It's bands that make her dance. Bands that make her dance. It's with Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't know that one. Sorry.
You're going to be quizzed on this later, Dean.
Vatican City.
You dumb. Let's go Saints. Make this game closer.
The Dolphins did punt the ball. Saints get the ball back on their own 25-ish.
Oh, yeah. And what are they going to do on offense? Basically, I'm just rooting for a pick 6.
I mean, what about my statement suggested that the Saints are going to do something well? But both these teams have a chance to make it the playoffs, right? They're both still live for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
I think the Dolphins are technically still live for the division.
That really?
They'll be one game back of the Patriots if they win this.
The Bills won yesterday, right? The Bills
Yeah, but who did they beat?
I think you're wrong on that.
Let's see. I think they're still alive, just like it would take a few different scenarios with strengths of schedule and stuff like that. Let's see.
This is about the time of year where I start care about standings, from a fantasy perspective. I think it's
Have
going
the
to
Bills
matter this
played
week.
the Dolphins twice? Once, twice. Yeah, okay. So they're not alive for the division. They can still do better. No, they're alive for the division. They're one game behind the Bills if they win this.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, the Bills are 9-6 and the Dolphins are 7-7. I guess the Dolphins could be 8-7. And I don't know. Have they played twice or no? I don't know.
Yeah, they played twice. So Bills and Patriots would both have to lose their last 2 games. Do they play each other?
Here, let's just go to the 538 playoff odds. That's much easier.
Yeah, no. So the Dolphins are still in play for the division if they win their next 3 games and they include next 2 games after this and this one, and the Bills and Patriots both lose their last 2 games.
This does not involve this game, but currently right now the Saints are 53% to make the playoffs according to 538. The Dolphins 18%. 0.3% for the Dolphins to win the division. When was this last updated? Updated December 27th.
Oh gosh, Bogdanovich, 20 points.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, hot tub. Here we come, man.
Make something back.
Yeah, I might actually.
You luck boxing to that one. You were so upset when Young was rolled in.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I have Reddish over 19.5 points, and he's been stuck at 19 since the first half.
Yeah.
Well, now I need Bogdanovich 25 points is what I'm rooting for.
There you go. No, let's give him 30, dude.
By the way, Bain 6 points early for Memphis.
Attaboy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it because he's the best basketball player in the league?
Fantastic.
No, it's
Love this
not
guy.
the best basketball. I mean, he could be fantastic, but he's not the best basketball player.
Bain is a superstar.
I mean,
No, he's not.
Dean, name one person who's better than Bane.
LeBron James.
You're wrong.
Nope.
Durant, maybe?
Nope.
No,
Durant's not even playing right now. How can you even say that?
he's not currently playing. That is correct. But, you're saying tonight who the best player in the league is? I can tell you some players tonight. James Harden hasn't played yet, but he's the best. You
Nah,
just got
he's
your
not
Reddish
better than
over, by the
Bane.
way. You got your Reddish over 22?
Yeah.
You hit them both despite Young playing. Look at you.
I hit them
Who runs
both
better?
before. Oh, yeah. I thought you were saying you bet them both. I'm like, I bet them beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm surprised. Like I said, they were still in play.
Who runs better than you, Grant?
That's
Vegas
my name.
Dave, he's never lost a bet.
Yeah, Vegas Dave's good. Yeah, you're right. By the way, JaVale McGee is stumbling up the gate. Not doing anything just yet.
I have the over
Four
at
and a half
8.5
minutes
points on him.
He's got 0 so far, but if you're on it, it's gonna go over, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also I bet it before they had a chance to correct it.
What is the correct number? Like 13 points?
My guess
14
is
points?
at 12. Let's see
12?
what it ended up at on the
What'd you have,
handy
James? What was your projection for that game? For points for JaVale after the news, obviously.
After the news.
My guess is you had it at 14.8.
Well, there goes Kamara. An actual offensive play for like 10 yards or so on a little screen pass.
Yeah.
Is it
Saints
Ben
are going to win
better?
this game.
Who's Ben the better or Vegas Dave? Who's the better?
Did you watch that whole thing? James, have you paid attention to Ben the better?
I have really quick. I have JaVale McGee at 15 real life points.
Yep. That was
Okay.
close.
Yeah.
His line was set at 14.5, which is about right.
Yep. I have paid attention to it. I'm not sure that I believe the most recent thing. But
What's the most
I
recent
I
thing?
don't know enough about it.
Well, the revelation supposedly that that Ben the Better was exposed as an actual sharp person.
Yeah, I'm not
who's
not
just
sure.
having
I believe
fun. Interesting.
I am on board with it. Was Overzet and Brick who did their podcast on it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I'm convinced that he is in fact that other person.
There's a lot of circumstantial evidence that suggests that.
Yeah.
Why are you not convinced, James?
I'm just I don't. It's such a weird. It's just such a weird overall thing that I'm not sure that it has as easy of an answer as it's just this guy.
Yeah, it is weird, but also like, so you have the same problem as Dean. You assume
Grant,
that people
Grant,
act
just
rational.
before Grant, just take 30 seconds or so and like summarize what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So Ben the Better is notoriously like, he has a Patreon that people pay for just to essentially fade him nights back in to start the second half.
Oh, that's good.
And essentially he's just been so bad that it almost seems like the only possible way he could be that bad is if it was someone who knew what they were doing and intentionally just took the opposite side on every single one of their bets. So Brick and Overzet both had a podcast where they went on and they're like listing all these things. And there's one other account that like there was some old tweets that had gotten deleted basically saying that's probably him. And then like you look at the timestamps of when they both stop and start tweeting.
Yeah.
They're near identical.
Mhm.
And you know that he's a good sports bettor in Canada. And then you look at a lot of the lingo they uses suggest that he's likely from Canada. And a lot of things suggesting he's likely from the same area as this guy. And so there's too many different coincidences where it really suggests Saints might actually score here, that he is in fact that better. And he is not actually, he's just a guy that likes to watch the world burn. And he actually gets the easiest way to get a lot of people tailing you is because most dumb people, like if they actually believe, oh, this guy's the worst sports bettor in the world, that more people will actually sign up for his Patreon. And some people do it just because
worst
like
better in the world, the worst bets. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a value in that if that's actually a thing, but I don't know how.
I don't believe that to be a thing. I don't believe someone could be that actually bad. I believe someone
Yeah.
could be that good where they bet the opposite and it goes great. But yeah. And then like Overzet and Brick both decided to finally out him because he threatened to kill himself on Twitter.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't think this is true. For the whole
Either
steak
way,
fish thing
like,
with EM.
Yeah. Well, that's the other part of it is he wouldn't give his PayPal out to win $6,000, whatever the number was, and that's kind of suspicious as well too. Empire State.
That would have shown his real name.
But that's. I mean, the bit is worth. I mean, maybe the guy's a bunch of money, and who cares? Jump in here, James. Well, rebut that. Why is none of that? Why is that not a good enough sell job? Why are you still on the fence?
No, I mean it might be. Like I just it's the entire thing. I just think that as much as there's plenty of circumstantial evidence and there's so many like different coincidences that kind of like coincide, I think that you can also like look at things like that in a lot of different ways in life and assume causation rather than correlation. And being like from the math guy side, it's just I don't know. It's sure maybe it's that guy and that's fine. I don't think that I like would take a stand one way or another. If somebody were like, oh well, you need to tell me tell me right now what you think of this. I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't really matter that much to me. But it's just, by the way, it's such a weird situation. And also I think that like I don't know how you could pull off that bit and then be outed like that and then be able to continue to pull off the bit. You know what I mean? And he's
it's because most people are
probably don't know.
Yeah. James, look at you. You're a super intelligent person. And you still don't believe that to be the case. So he's been outed like that, and you still don't know if you believe it.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know if I care.
It's a weird thing.
I'm annoyed that I care about it. Like I spend enough time like listening to this. I thought it was interesting. You know, I'm all for a fun, inconsequential conspiracy theory. But we got a field goal here. It is good. We're 10-3. Dolphins getting the ball with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. They had to delay a game on 4th and 2. I'm not sure if that was intentional and they're trying to draw them off or what, but could not get the snap off there. Question in chat: any love for Tony Snell? I can't imagine something's happened. We're considering playing Tony Snell.
Literally never.
Like, what is the scenario where Tony Snell is the answer?
Take the under.
I have no idea. I was trying to think of one. I could not.
Hold on. What do I have for his projection?
6 points.
5 points.
Well, he's probably like 20 or something. Maybe, I don't know.
I have him for 13 fantasy points, 5 real life points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists.
He is starting, but like, he
has that very famous game of absolutely nothing.
Well, he's also, I think, what is he, the second lowest usage player in the league?
Got to be something like that, yeah.
Who's the lowest, if not Snell?
I think we did this game not too long ago, and I said Snell.
How many fantasy points per minute you think Tony Snell has this year? As is everybody, regular, anyone in the court, whoever in the court, but just in the season, he has played 280.9 fantasy minutes. What's his fantasy points per minute for DK?
It's got to be like what, 0.25 to 0.3.
I thought it was lower than this, to be honest. It's apparently 0.47, which seems high.
Well, no, I mean, I have him for 29 minutes and project 13 fantasy points. So
okay.
I guess 0.4 makes sense.
Solomon Hill. Solomon Hill is the lowest over 100 minutes. Surprising one is Nerlens Noel. Trevor Ariza is actually lower than Snell. But
how many minutes is Ariza's played like 15 minutes or something, right? What does Ariza play? 20
36.
Minutes? Okay. That doesn't count.
Mitch Robb is under 10%.
They don't run anything for any of those centers. Yeah, they run
Royce O'Neal is like the biggest sample, the only guy over like 500 minutes that's under 10%. Him and Mitch Robb.
He's a useful player in that team, though. Like he fills a really necessary role. He's definitive. Well, 3 and D, but his 3 is not spectacular. But that's like all his shots, right? From 3, that's it. He takes like 7 a game or something, and they're all from 3 essentially. All right. Miami with the ball. 2-minute warning. Are you still live betting this game, Grant, or you just kind of abandoned it?
I'm waiting until it gets closer.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to put any more money on what's it called? On the Saints.
The Saints on book.
Yeah. Book has not looked good enough. I don't normally look to just hedge out. Like I'm looking for good lines. In this one, I'm looking to just straight up hedge out and be done with it. So if they can get a touchdown, I mean, I think the Saints can still win here. Like they're pretty much playing the exact same right now, outside of one pick. Like Tua could easily throw a pick.
There's a reason this game had a 37 over under.
Yeah, it's down to 33.5 right now.
Yeah.
What is like the deepest completed pass in this game? Like I feel
15
like we haven't
yards.
seen. I mean, maybe I'm rounding up, and that Callaway's got 2 catches for 20. He got a 17-yard catch. I don't know where he caught it as far as the A dot, but yeah. Waddle has 26 yards, an 18-yard catch, and 3 others for a combined 8. Gesicki 2 for 10. Kamara 7 for 17 on the ground and 1 catch for 12 yards. You got to manufacture touches for him. Just like get him like some screens or.
I had a sub who was like, "Oh yeah, well, I wanted to take the over on Alvin Kamara 58 rushing yards, but the model hated it." And I was like, yeah, because the Saints don't want to use him on the ground anyway, and this game has a 37 over under. Like you can't expect yardage in it.
Yeah.
How many yards is he at?
He has 17 right now.
Rushing or total?
Rushing. I had him for 43 receiving yards.
Yeah, he's at 12. Yeah. By the way, how happy are people who didn't change their lineups around and have Reddish and Bogdanovich?
Yeah, they're both smashing. And well, I mean, my Reddish has turned into like Pritchard, I think, which is pretty good too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a good. What is Reddish at? He's got to be at well over 40.
He's got
He's at
32 points.
39.25. And
He's
Bogdanovich
basically
is at
scoring points, that's
33.5.
Reddish 7 for 9 from 3. That'll do it. And Bogdanovich 4 for 7 from 3. There you go. Hey, there's a question in chat. Let's see, whoever wants to answer it by all means. For DK tournaments, when you accumulate tickets, bumping and grinding in small tournaments, I do that sometimes. Accumulate tickets, not bumping and grinding so much. What's the strategy for those larger entry tournaments? That recent NBA 2.25 million that I saw Squirrel cashing in. Did Squirrel win that? I don't know.
I don't think he won that. I think he probably did pretty good.
I had no interest personally for me because it was 2.25 million and 1 million up top, and there's just no chance I'm playing that. Yeah, I'm more likely to play like the Million Maker, at least like it's what 1 million out of like 3.5 up top, which is better. I just want a flatter payout. I hate 40% up top. It's just not something I have any interest in. I do the soapbox thing like once a week probably, but that's not for me. Do you have a thought on that, James or Grant, as far as when you do compile your tickets, when you use them? I had tickets and I did not play. I didn't want to play that tournament for that reason.
I am not great at high, like top heavy payout basketball. Like I've like my favorite thing to do was always play on Fantasy Draft because they had like my key spot is like 100 to 400 entry tournaments.
Yeah, that's
like you can play more of the chalk. You can just correlate slightly, not overly so, and you can play some of the best plays and you can win money. Like I don't play large field tournaments in basketball. Like I exclusively play small field unless I'm just bored and like I'll throw this in for $5 for a 5,000 person tournament. Unless there's some nights when I'm like, this guy's going to come in at like 4% owner. I've had a few Bane nights where he's coming in at like 4% ownership. And there was like 1 or 2 other guys that I liked at low single digits. I'm like, okay, that's when I'll play a large field tournament. But it depends on every single night. Football and baseball, like you can go off the wall and it has large positive EV playing very high top end payouts based on what lineup you have. But for basketball, I'm not the right person to ask.
I mostly agree with you. I think that for basketball, super large field stuff is really, really, really difficult because you have situations like today where like Mason Plumlee he like basically 10x in the first half. And if you don't have him at the 3% ownership, like you're already dead. You're not going to win that GPP. And like to kind of piggyback what Grant was saying, with event-oriented sports, playing those super large field tournaments is still something that you can do because you can go off the board and you still have a good EV sentiment if you're not playing the chalk. But in NBA, the chalk is so good and the best plays for the most part are known. So unless you have like some really good conviction on certain low-end plays, it's just going to be really, really hard to put together a lineup that through a median standpoint is going to project well enough to make sure that you're competitive, and 2, have enough leverage on the field to where you're going to be able to pass large swaths of the field when your guys do well. Like today, there was probably, like I said, I think there was edge in having Trae Young, but to do it, you had to get off of some of the other chalk plays, and that made it so that like the way that your lineup was built, if you played all the chalk, you couldn't get Trae Young because you'd already have Harden, and like Harden projected better than Trae Young. But if you play both Trae Young and James Harden, which you could do, you had to get off of Nathan Knight. You had to get off of some of the other like value plays that made a lot of sense. So you were overly contrarian in the way that you had to build for large field tournaments in NBA today. It's just really, really hard. The only other thing that I would say is if you're going to play those super large field tournaments, never, ever, ever, ever play them and just say, oh, well, hopefully I can just min cash. Like if you min cash a giant tournament with like hundreds of thousands of entries, you just shouldn't have played that GPP. You're basically like, if you're not aiming for absolute first with your lineup or absolute last, you probably didn't build a lineup that was good for that kind of a tournament. And just pay attention to that kind of thing. You really need to learn to build lineups. Like Grant said, he likes playing 100 to 400 entry tournaments, mostly because he can play a little bit of chalk. He doesn't have to correlate as stringently. He can still play the quote unquote best plays and still have a chance to take down the tournament. Whereas in a super large field tournament, that strategy of like a cash game with a single pivot doesn't work very often. And you just need to be able to understand that.
I'm the same way as Grant. I build lineups thinking like, single entry, 3 entry max, that kind of stuff. Like it's 400 people or 1,000 people, maybe like something like that. But yeah, the large field thing is a whole different conversation. I think you explained that well. Miami looking to get a chance to get a field goal. By the way, Waddle is he's been having himself a big first half over here. He's got like 7 catches now. He's probably in the captain optimal, I assume. 7 catches for 62 yards.
Oh, I was going to say 7 catches for 30 yards, right?
The 62. But yeah, that's good. That's good enough, man.
Good PBR.
That's basically Antonio Brown's stat line from Sunday.
Tom Brady's not good.
I'm mad about Sunday.
Wait,
I nailed every pivot and had Tom Brady and Gronkowski and Keenan.
Yeah.
Tragic.
I had a lot of Gronk too. Yeah, I did. I finished. I finished 6th in that Yahoo contest. I think.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh, nice. Good job.
But like, it's one of those things where I didn't. I wish I didn't see. I wish I didn't hear it. But like, I had Tyler Boyd and obviously Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Boyd got a 2nd touchdown taken away. Like, and nobody in front of me. Nobody played Tyler Boyd. They played Higgins and they played Chase. Boyd was like 1.5%, and I double receiver. But I mean, you can't complain. These goofy things. I mean, I had so many positive things happen, I'm sure, but like, it's like, I wish I didn't see it. Like, oh man, because that would have really, I don't think I would have won, but I think I would have got 2nd, possibly. I didn't go through it, but probably the difference from, I don't know, maybe 30,000, something like that. But you're a big jerk if you're complaining too, right? Because
by the way,
yeah.
Daniel, suck it. Bane has 12 real life points in the first.
Yeah, he's still not the best player in the association. He's good.
When was the last time that LeBron James had 12 real life points in the first?
Yeah.
I don't know. Possibly Christmas.
But I did bet. So what do you think Bane's point total over under was at
tonight?
Yeah.
18.5.
17.5. I think it moved to 18.5 after I wrote it up. No big deal. It's just all me.
You move the needle. You're a needle mover.
I do sometimes. I do on certain sites. Like every single time I bet, PointsBet will move the line. So now if I really like a bet that PointsBet has the best odds, I'll generally write it up and I won't even bet it.
Man of the people.
Is this a completion here? What are we looking at? Is that a catch? That's not a catch, right? Smythe? Anybody watching the game?
I don't think that's a catch. Yeah.
I don't think that's a catch either, but I'm not sure. I caught the back end of it. It would have put him in field goal range if it is a catch.
No, but I did write up
They're saying complete on the field, but they might review this. I guess they're reviewing it now. Yeah. Okay. It's going to get overruled.
Yeah. I bet Bane over 17.5, 20 plus, 25 plus, and 30 plus.
I had him at 23. If you wanted to put him at what was the odds on the 30?
On the 30 plus 1,600 plus 470 for 25.
Oh yeah, I just taken the over on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had him at a 21% chance to hit 30.
Yeah, no, he is a beast. I don't normally buy NBA jerseys. I will buy a Bane jersey.
As you should.
Really?
Bane is my favorite player potentially of all time in the NBA.
I think the general rule is if you're older, you can't be older than the guy that you're buying the jersey of, I think.
Well, Dean, you can't buy anyone in the NBA then.
I could buy Tom Brady's jersey. Anybody in the NBA? Yeah, Greg Monroe is only 31. Lance Stevenson only 31 as well. Oh, how old is Donis Haslam? Maybe I could buy a Haslam jersey. Probably not, though. I'm not sure. But also, yeah, I mean, it's fine if you want to wear a jersey, have at it. But I can't. I feel like I passed that phase. I don't know, James.
Oh yeah, no, I almost never buy jersey. Like I wear a football jersey to a football game occasionally if I'm seeing the Seahawks. Like I'm not wearing jerseys any random day. Yeah. I'm gonna go put on a jersey real quick.
You got a jersey? All right. Do you happen to have a jersey on layaway, James? Is that gonna make the trip, or is that gonna hit the yard sale?
The only jersey that I have is a Cam Newton jersey that Margaret got me for my birthday.
Oh. Do you still rock it? Are you a fan of Cam, or why Cam? Why is he your guy?
Name this player.
Jared Allen.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, why do you like Jared Allen, number 69 for the Minnesota Vikings?
Because 69.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And no, I mean, I like Cam. I think that he was good. I've been a Panthers fan since 2001 when Jake Delhomme was still the QB. So
okay.
As much as I'm not an actual sports fan these days, that is the team that I suppose I am the biggest sports fan of. So it was nice to have that jersey, and that was the year that they went to the Super Bowl and then lost to the Broncos. So it was nice to have it.
Why Carolina? Do you have roots there in Carolina? You're originally from the East Coast?
My mom was born in Carolina, but I just associated with them really well. I loved football when I was younger. I loved football.
Yeah.
And I just I think that I don't know. How does anybody really it, unless you're born in the place, how does anybody become a fan of a team? You just you see them playing, you like them, and that just sticks. When you're 8 years old, that's when you find your team, and then they're forever.
So what were the rules? So I was a Sonics fan.
Okay. So you're a Thunder fan now.
No, you feel betrayed.
I don't make the rules. That's who they turn into, right?
No.
Deep pass the Waddle out of bounds.
I don't know. I've been a Grizzlies fan ever since, mostly just because I loved Zebo. Zebo was one of my favorite players.
That's fair.
So yeah, that's I've been a Grizzlies fan, and I don't know why I keep loving players on their team. Maybe just because they keep drafting. I loved Gasol. I loved Zebo. I loved Conley. I like Morant. Awesome. I love Bane. I love Jaren Jackson, and I love Dylan Brooks.
I didn't realize that's your second favorite team now, or it's your favorite team now, the Grizzlies?
It's probably my favorite team. I don't really care that much about basketball, in terms of rooting for a team. I always root for LeBron just because everyone being so angry, oh, he'll never be as good as Jordan. Blah, 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 blah.
But my childhood and nostalgia, there's no way. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I always root for LeBron. When I lived in LA, I rooted for the Clippers because I hated Lakers fans. But I don't have a set team like I do with football or baseball. Even baseball.
Tua took a sack there. You can't take. Are they out of field goal range? The 4 seconds left in the game. You can't take a sack there. I suppose you can kick a 57-yarder, which why not? But you can't get sacked. Do anything but get sacked.
He did in fact get sacked, Daniel.
Well, you're not supposed to.
Oh yeah. Are you ever supposed to get sacked, Daniel?
Yeah, there's certain.
Is he trying to get sacked?
There are certain circumstances where a sack is better than. Wait, they are going to kick the field goal. Here we go. Let's go.
Your sack is better than what? An interception or a fumble?
Yeah.
Yes. In every single scenario, pretty much, a sack is not what you're supposed to take, but you're also not supposed to throw an interception, Dean.
Yeah, because they're.
Have you ever had a play be he should take a sack? he should take a sack.
Yeah.
You act like I get it's more costly in certain scenarios, but saying that is just stupid.
I actually agree with him here.
Well,
Gosh, I love you, James.
the point that Grant is making is to say that like you shouldn't be taking sacks. Like, duh, that's not a profound statement. This isn't. You're not taking a hard stand here. That's not like a bold proclamation that taking sacks as a general rule is bad. That's your point. And
your point was he can't take a sack there. Do you have any idea how stupid that is? Yeah, I can't take a sack there. You can't throw an interception there. You can't fumble the ball there. You can't do that. You're not supposed to do that in football. That's what you were saying. And you're saying what I'm saying is dumb.
Well, yeah, I wasn't saying it as like a profound.
Oh, you can't miss that field goal. You can't miss that field goal. You can't do that.
Circumstances where it's good to miss the field goal.
Nice. You want me to turn my camera off? Nice.
Oh man, are we sure Shrek isn't sleeping? Maybe he's watching this game. Oh man, what a snoozer.
Yeah, I'd rather be watching the Grizzlies.
Yeah, rather be watching all the money racked up from Desmond Bain for sure.
Yeah,
he's gonna save my night with missing the wood PRA.
Yeah. You on, Shrek?
I am. Yep, I got you.
Nice, Dean. I'll let you take over.
What's up, Shrek? So your name is Brian. I've learned that today. Oh man, that beard is awesome. That is pretty impressive. Grant, do you feel threatened?
Oh, that is.
I was going to bring my beard brush in for Grant, but I chose not to.
Oh my God, Grant is just stand down. Grant, be afraid. If you guys are not aware, Shrek Brian, he is the newest millionaire winner in all. Well, you didn't win on Sunday, you won on Saturday. So one of the newest millionaires in all of DFS. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I assume. Have you slept since? How has the last 48 hours or so been for you?
So I told myself after it happened, yeah, sure, I'm going to go to bed. And I tried, but it didn't work. So no, the first night I was up the full time, and last night I slept like a baby.
That's pretty awesome. So this was during the Saturday Dallas Cowboy. No, not Dallas Cowboy. Who was playing on Saturday? I forget. I get my games confused. The Cleveland Browns was the first game, and the second game was who was involved? How did this go down?
It was Browns, Packers, and Cardinals.
Cardinals somebody in the second game.
Cardinals Colts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cardinals Colts. Yep. I was drawing a blank too.
Well, because they're all teams that nobody really is a fan of. So
correct.
Did you run like 150? Did you run 10? How many lineups did you run? At what point did you know you were alive? What point you're like, well, wait a second, I got a shot here.
So yeah, I did max it. And so I originally, and I did my initial build and submitted everything. And then I don't know exactly how long after, but the news came that Zach Pascal had been added to the COVID list. So I went through and I was like, okay, who can I use that maybe could produce equally? And I chose to pretty much move all my shares to T.Y. Hilton. And I was shocked when I saw that he was only 10% owned.
Wow.
T.Y. Hilton, he got in the box, right? I'm pretty sure he scored a touchdown.
He did. He got in the box. He went way above what he was expected to do. And it was like, I didn't think that he would come close to doing what he did, but it was amazing. And the other question that you asked, so I don't follow live most slates. I get anxious. So I check the scores. I watch the games. And I got a message, I don't know, somewhere in the middle of the third quarter from some Discord buddies that were saying, hey, Shrek, you might want to look. So I did. And I watched all the fourth quarter, and it was probably with about 4 minutes left where I was in the 60s. And then I moved up to 3 and thought, oh, this is real. So yeah, my wife and I sweat the last 3-4 minutes of it.
So we were talking earlier about, significant others and letting them know what's going on as far as making money, losing money, how things are up. And I guess you made the decision. And typically is this like, if something's interesting happening, 6 figures, 5 figures, whatever it is, would you give her a nudge and say like, hey, this is what's happening. You want to follow along? You want to sweat with me? Or this was a special circumstance because we're talking $1 million.
So she'll pay attention some. I mean, she kind of knows. Like when I first started doing this in 2018 and was doing it for fun, she was, I think, typical wife at that point, saying, "Oh, this is why are you spending so much time doing this, yada yada." And then a few wins started coming in, and kind of said, "You know what? I kind of like this." And then I had that 6-figure win back in October, and that's when she was like, "You know what, Brian? Just go do what you need to do." So yeah, I mean, if there's a chance for something big, I'll pull her in. And this one was like, she was actually trying to calm me down because I was acting like a fool.
What were you doing?
Pacing. I went like to the kitchen table and was watching from a distance. I was really anxious. I mean, this was, it's 6 figures is amazing, and I'm thankful for any win, but
Sure.
seven figures is life changing money. It's I was not exactly sure how to process what I was feeling.
We were talking about superstitions before, and Grant was talking about how, like, if you're at the craps table and somebody says 7, he gets angry, and all of a sudden that influenced the chances of 7, getting rolled. But do you have to sit in a certain chair? Is there a certain cup you got to drink out of? How goofy do we get with these things? And I guess your other superstition is like, you don't want to know what's going on as far as you're currently winning. And that's just something you don't realize until when you open the app up at the last second. I guess you know your percentages, and I have so much of this guy, so this guy did well, so I'm probably doing okay.
So
take us through that.
My reason for not always following live was, it was a couple of years ago, or maybe it was like a year and a half ago. I can't remember. I was up big, and it was a Tampa Bay showdown, and it was like a minute left, and I was in first place solo, 250 grand. I'm like, oh my god! And then of course it's showdown. One thing happened, took it all away, and that was kind of hard to process. So that's mostly why I don't follow. It's just you start thinking about what could be, and it changes, and it's not. So I don't have any superstitions in terms of where I need to sit and whatnot, because when it comes to the end and you have a chance to win, I don't sit still. It's my Boston, New England side comes out, and I'm moving around constantly.
Is that what Bostonians are known for? Are they notorious for being a fidgety, I suppose, or nervous at times? Is that a thing?
I mean, maybe, and we're also known for having to have a tape delay or a live edit delay, which I will be good and keep it PG.
You're in Colorado, aren't you? I think all three of you guys are in Colorado right now.
Yeah. Yep. I live out in eastern Colorado. I live out in Elizabeth. These guys, I think, you guys are downtown, right?
It used to be.
Yeah, Grant used to be. I'm about 15 minutes away from Denver, yeah. But I know where Elizabeth is. And Elizabeth's beautiful.
I love it. We've got 5 acres out here, and it's peaceful. It's quiet.
Got enough room for a hot tub or a jacuzzi?
We've got a hot tub. Yeah, we've got a hot tub.
Have one.
Yeah, the only thing that I splurged on, because I did make the decision that my 9-to-5 life is now, I'm retired. So the only thing I splurged on was a framed, game-worn, autographed Brady jersey.
Well, Brady's your guy. I guess you're a Patriot fan, I presume.
I'm a Patriot fan, yes, sir.
What did that run you?
So the one that I ended up getting was 5,500.
Oh yeah, that's after your win. That's not much.
Yeah, that's an easy.
No, but like I said, I chose to basically say that working life is done. So I'm going to be frugal for a while, and we'll see what happens. I got that live event coming up in January too, which I'm excited about. So
is that down in Phoenix?
Scottsdale. Yep.
You need +1.
Event?
It is. It's +1. That's correct.
Listen to Grant.
Oh, I was gonna say you need a +1. I try and sneak my way in +1s for those events.
Grant's a professional +1 these days.
Oh, I heard the question and I got the tone. That's why I'm smiling. Yeah, it's +1.
All of a sudden, he's your best friend. There you go. It's a +1.
No. I might go trend. My brother lives in Scottsdale, so I might just try and go sneak into that anyways.
Oh yeah, you have a reason to be down there.
Yeah. And I can actually bet on Caesar's Sportsbook down there.
It's DraftKings. I don't really. I mean, I play a little bit on FanDuel, but for whatever reason, I've developed my routine for DraftKings, and FanDuel is a different beast for me. I can't seem to quite figure it out.
A significantly worse beast.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the contests are so top heavy. Not that DraftKings isn't, but so top heavy, and the process that I've developed is different, and you guys know too. It's different scoring system, so I like DK.
What is your general philosophy as far as attacking tournaments? And obviously, that was a top-heavy one on Saturday, I believe, the $1 million contest. But what was What was the prize pool? And first was obviously $1 million. What was total prize pool? You remember?
I think doesn't second drop down to like 100 grand?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Something
sure
like
the 2.5 million prize pool.
Yeah, yeah. So your question was what again? What's my philosophy on how
Like your general philosophy as far as attacking slates? Like, do you have like a general thought process? Does it change slate by slate? Are you somebody that says, I like this quarterback, I'm going to play 100% of them and just run a bunch of stacks, or 150 stacks of this game, or it all sort of depends on the week?
Yeah, so I'm not as bold as some people are. I'm not like I'm not quite as bold as that. I will embrace the chalk if I feel like it's a value. It's a good chalk play. I'll use it. I'm not afraid. I don't focus on ownership that much. I know there are a lot of people who are on the opposite side of that. If I think a play is a good play, I'm playing them, and I don't care if other people have them. What I'll do is I'll look for, potentially equally good plays that have a possible outcome that people aren't choosing to use. So that's my side. I do have, like most, I have my set rules and scripts and whatnot that I'm going to follow for most types of slate, 2-game slate, afternoon, early slate. That I use no matter what. But in terms of the players, I'm going to play the best plays, and I'm going to search for low-owned good plays too.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever told you you almost have the exact same voice as Heath Eister?
No, but I also don't know who that is.
Yeah, I was just
He
saying,
works at RG.
nobody here knows who that is, Grant.
And it's a Grant comment, so please explain.
No, he works here at RG. He's eyes 819.
He knows him better as the Iceman, probably.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, also my voice is a little bit labored because, as I said, there was some slight screaming and yelling on Christmas.
Friends and family reaction?
So in the immediate happening in live real time, my daughter and my 3 dogs all left and went somewhere else because they were freaked out.
Dogs couldn't handle it.
No, my dogs were gone. And my wife was like, is this really happening? Is this real? Is it real? Is it real? I'm like, it's real. It's real. So that was the immediate. And then obviously I've talked to my parents and my sister and friends and my small little secret Discord group. It's been really fun.
Is that the secret chat?
I can't tell you if it's the secret chat. It's a faction of it.
It's an offshoot of the cash game construction chat.
Yes, we've hijacked a couple of the RG employees there and there, but it's not the secret.
So you said you quit your 9 to 5?
I don't want to call it quit. I want to say retire because I think I've mentioned it to you before that I also was a school teacher for a long, long time.
Yeah,
and I loved it.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, man, with COVID and just the way it's being handled, and I got COVID really bad in August. How
you feeling now? You feeling all right?
I'm good. Yeah,
Good.
I got some lung damage that's permanent, but it's not anything that I need to worry about. I didn't want to go back. I enjoyed the freedoms of what being home has to offer, and $1 million helps.
Yeah. That's a strong selling point for sure. Well, what did you teach? History? Why do I feel like it was history?
No,
Or was it math?
It was math. Yep.
Math. All right.
Yep.
Well, are you enjoying the game tonight? Did you play Showdown tonight, I presume? Or
I did play Showdown. I watched the first quarter, and then actually I came in, worked a little bit on NBA late because I like the NBA late slate. Like I told you, not the main slate right now. That's work, and I don't like work.
In the chat right now, somebody just said, I'm playing Tony Snell tonight. Screw it. Can you confirm or deny, is Tony Snell in your late night NBA script?
He is, but he had a very hard cap in my player pool.
Yeah, like 6% or something like that.
Yeah.
We even talked about Tony Snell on this show for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's why he mentioned it, James.
Even if Tony Snell was starting and the only active player for that team, he'd still have a hard cap.
You would just assume that team is only going to score 6 real life points, and
correct.
He'd have a lot of turnovers, I would imagine.
I was going to say there's be a lot of turnovers
negative
and fouls.
He is starting, but yeah, Tony Snell is a rough roster for sure. People in chat saying Shrek is the GOAT. If you guys have any questions for Shrek, by all means, fire him off. Go ahead.
Tony Snell has always been that one guy that when you roster, you can never figure out how to get him right. So he's got a hard cap.
I mean, I
The
feel
best
like
way
the
to get
getting him
right
right
is
is just
X-
never
X
playing
amount.
it. Yeah.
That is the correct right. Don't play him. X.
What is his career high, Tony Snell? What is his most fantasy points he ever played? Scored in one game.
He's
Probably has like a
actually
30
had
somewhere.
games. He went like 7 for 7 from 3 one game.
I'm
He
done
must
with
have
his
scored like
chance.
26 or something.
And that was during his Atlanta time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had to be years ago.
Yep.
He every once in a while, Tony Snell is going to have a PJ Tucker game where like you didn't roster them, they're 0.5% owned, and they end up putting up like 10x because why not? They're professional NBA players. They might as well do it every once in a while.
And professional
PJ
NBA
Tucker
right
has
now-
had some real games this year, like with a bunch of dudes out, but Tucker's had some moments this year, which
Yeah,
I
he
don't
has.
think I was on any of them, unfortunately.
Professional NBA right now is so hard too because you don't know who you're starting.
Right, because they're not actually professional NBA players at this point. They're
Yeah.
G League players. It's all G League players.
It's like hoping
Some
Ian
former
Brock has
professional
a good
players.
game.
I guess G League is professional.
Shrek, they want to know if you're playing Boban. Did Boban make your late game scripts?
Are they confusing me with who? Oh God, I'm on the spot. I'm forgetting names. No, Boban did not enter my lineups. That's Kevin Roth.
Yeah. I mean, there's still like Marquise Chris and there's other big, they still have Moses Brown. What's the scenario where Boban, is he projected to play any minutes tonight? I have not looked at that, but
I'm looking at my
Can't
stuff.
be
I did not include Boban.
I feel like Kidd has not played him much at all this year. Like, I don't think Boban's been unleashed once this season.
How much
wrong in
Bane
that?
did you play tonight?
He didn't play the early slate.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
I was
wanna
gonna say
mention.
Bane's something. No, I didn't touch the early slate. I don't. It's too much right now. Like I love doing DFS. It's such a fun time, but NBA is full time, and it's
Yeah.
too much.
I
do it. Sorry.
Have you gotten into sports betting at all yet?
So the only thing that I'll do sports betting with is UFC.
All right.
Because
I know-
that's something you feel like you have a good grasp of.
I do. DFS for me is just such a fun puzzle. Like you're trying to fit pieces in that make sense. Sports betting is just not something that I've gotten into. Congratulations on your win, though, Grant. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, only 6 figures, so let's not get too excited.
Yeah.
No, it's 7, 6. His jacuzzi, Grant, it's going to be better than yours. Is the point?
So, Grant, I know you don't want to necessarily say exactly where, but what part of the state did you move? East,
I'm in
west?
Colorado Springs. So if you're ever down here, I know that's close, probably about as close as Denver. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Feel free to hit me up.
Yeah, my sister lives down there. She lives right off of Academy.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
the
yeah.
general area. I'm in between. I'm just off Centennial.
Okay.
Ooh, all right. Stalkers,
cool.
here we come.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Chalk Knight, 20-10-4 with 5 minutes to go. So if you did not play Knight tonight, it was like 3K on DK or like nothing on FanDuel as well. He's smashing for the record. Brown,
What's
20-9. Oh, go
He
ahead.
nuked. No, it didn't. And didn't, somebody was like, who's the guy for Atlanta who went nuts tonight?
Oh, Reddish. Yeah.
Reddish, yeah. Like he had like 30 real points.
Yeah.
33. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Didn't do
He's
much else, but that
crushed.
didn't matter. Young came back to knock at his double-double, got 29-9. Saints, by the way, went 3 and out, if you guys are not aware. So you played a bunch of lineups, I assume, tonight in the showdown. And God, I mean, putting lineups together, I built 8 by hand, and I did not enjoy that experience. But yeah, you probably played a bunch of defenses, maybe, and some kickers, and it was ugly. I don't know. I mean, you have no clue how you're doing right now, right? You have no idea if you're doing well, not doing well, and you won't look until the last minute.
I'm looking.
Just
No, I'm looking right now in the 222. I've got a lineup in the top 30 right now, which starts with the captain defense and ends with the defense.
I'm guessing after the $1 million win, there's not as much like anxiety when you're watching it now.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
House is
I
money.
mean,
Yeah.
it is different because in the past, I think the dream was to win enough to say, you know what, I'm going to kind of control my schedule. And now that that's happened, that stress piece is gone a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you got to get some losses out of the way before the year's over. You know,
Yeah.
if you lose some money,
Fix up your taxes.
it's a write-off. Is that
Yeah.
how that goes?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to
Grant.
maybe. I'm sure there's some deductions that you can get that might not be a terrible idea in the next 4 days.
Go in tank mode? Is that what you're suggesting?
Huh? No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, I don't know. I can't think of it. Like I am an accountant back. Like I do this full time and there's different filing and stuff like that. And I don't know if you qualify for what's it called for this being self-employment. So I don't know. I don't want to. Oh, Bane. All right, Bane. Yeah, I don't know. Like I would say talk to an accountant.
I did actually. I actually asked Dean about it the other day too. I have a friend who does it, and there are quite a few write-offs that even somebody who's not considered a professional can do with this.
Yeah. Get a new computer. Get a nice computer and some
I just
screens if you
did
want to
too.
do this.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'll get another one.
How long ago did you get it?
Really quick. Shrek, congrats on
Yes.
your million.
Thank you.
Grant, I got to get out of here. So
Yeah. I'm surprised you
Thanks for
stayed
hanging with us,
around this long.
yeah, no, this has been good though. I will talk to you guys later though. Thanks for having me on the show again. Shrek, congrats on your $1 million.
Thank you so much. McCool, talk to you.
Good night.
See it.
I got the computer. It's a new MacBook Pro, so I got it when it came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
It's within the calendar year, so it could be a write-off.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, you can just straight up write off that computer.
Yep.
We got the whole argument a couple of shows ago where Grant was like, "You can only write up one computer." I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And
And he was actually right.
I was right, and I'm not the accountant, right? You can write up 2 computers, correct?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
You can write off the home office. You can write off your subscriptions, your like whatever sites you use. You can write that. And I mean, the losses also get calculated within DraftKings, and the person who handles your account lets you know that too.
Yeah. No, your 1099 will be net of wins and losses.
Correct. Yep.
Tua with a pretty bad pass interception for New Orleans. They got the ball in decent field position. And the chat, yes, that was James McCool, aka Paydirt. You can find him on Paydirt. Find him at Paydirt DFS on Twitter. I don't think precise. You guys can find him there. Or he's also he's the Monday through Friday show. I think he's on at least several times with Blender, 11 o'clock in the morning.
I think he's on Mondays, I want to say.
Okay, I know he's on it every day, but yeah, there you go. You know, the people in chat are aware who he is.
Doesn't he also work with can't think of the guy who does baseball stats?
I'm not sure. Grant, you know?
Is it Moneyball?
Grant?
I don't know.
I can't think of the guy's name.
I'm not sure. Are you
That was a good
watching this
story.
game in the backdrop here, Shrek, or is it Shrek or is it Brian? Does it matter? Do you care? I don't.
No, Devin asked me what I want to be called, and I was like, just Shrek, Brian. It doesn't matter. Whatever you feel comfortable saying. And no,
I'm good with whatever, man. I'm versatile.
Yeah, I'm good too. I don't have it on in my office just so I can pay attention and not be a squirrel and forget what I'm doing.
Is that a nickname? Where does Shrek come from? Why is that your DFS handle?
So, God, like years ago when we first moved out to Colorado, we have a big group of college friends that are out here, and they have their friends. And one night we were all just drinking, and somebody's like, "We're gonna call you Shrek." I'm like, "All right," and it stuck.
But the chat is saying Jeff Collins. Is that who you're thinking of?
Yeah, he no longer works with Number
yeah.
Ball. Yeah, he hasn't worked with Number Ball for
yeah.
a while.
Yes,
there you go.
That's what I was thinking of. Yep.
Congrats to Lip in the chat who had a 1% Vuk on FanDuel. That seems, man, he absolutely smashed. I think a lot of people just moved on to JaVale. I assume that's what happened. Nice pass there for New Orleans. That was the best pass of the night.
Oh, you didn't
15, 20-yard completion.
No interception, huh? That's nice.
No. Out of the very first play, I guess you were watching. The first pass, I believe, was a pick six. But completion to Callaway for 15 yards, and they're at midfield. I'm trying to make this game somewhat interesting, keeping an eye on it. But hey, man, it's we were saying before, like this. There's actually both these teams can make the playoffs, which maybe that means 2 weeks into the playoffs. I don't know, but like, how many teams are actually good? And Shrek, how many teams can you confidently say like this is a good NFL team?
So I talked to, I think, one of the guys who you all work with, Schmidt today. How do you say?
Okay.
Yeah.
Schmidt, yeah. I talked to him and he's like, so what's your prediction for the Super Bowl? And I'm like, I'm not going to make one with COVID. I don't want to look like a fool. So in terms of teams that are good, as long as quarterbacks stay healthy, obviously Kansas City's good. Patriots, my team, seemed good for a while. And then I realized and remembered that Mac Jones is a rookie.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you can
Tennessee is 10-5. Is Tennessee good?
Again, I mean, they've lost so many players. You got Brady, and I'm never gonna, count him out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Brady
Brady's
and
coming
the
back
best
soon enough, I
offensive
think.
core of all time.
Grant, I can't remember. Are you the one who used to call Brady the noodle arm?
That was mostly Big T. I did mention it a few times.
Yeah, that's why I forgot. It was.
You got those
Big
receipts,
T.
man.
Yeah.
Big T also said that Carson Wentz is the best quarterback in the league or something like that, or MVP.
Like
I can't remember.
top 5.
Top 5. I mean, we all have bad takes.
I mean, so the Colts are actually a good team.
They are a good team.
Yeah.
But they're like a team. They're like a team definition, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a good defense, great line, big deal. That's a big deal. But Wentz is like not the reason why they're a good team. He's not.
Wentz is in a good spot for Wentz. He's got a good coach that knows his strengths, very clearly recognizes his weaknesses, and he has Jonathan Taylor. So,
yeah, he's essentially a slightly better Trent Dilfer in the 1999 Ravens.
Yep.
Is that a compliment though? Like, do you want to be called a slightly?
Oh no, I'm not. I'm saying that's just what it is. Pretty much.
He did win a Super Bowl. So
yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
I'm saying they can win the Super Bowl. Just, I'd say like I can't think of a single besides the Colts and the Chiefs. Those are the only 2 good teams in the AFC. The NFC, I think, Cowboys, they're good. Rams.
The Bills aren't bad though. We're saying the Bills are. They're somewhere in the middle. You don't think the Bills are a good team?
I think they're fairly good. They're not great. Okay, there's only 4 great teams in the NFL, maybe 5.
There's no great teams. I would say there's great
Cowboys,
teams.
Rams, Packers, Bucks, and the Chiefs. Those are all great teams.
They're good. I don't know if I.
No, they're great. They're great teams.
The Chiefs.
You don't have to say it was great.
The Chiefs started out bad, and people were like, "Oh, Mahomes is a fraud." They forgot they were talking about his brother only because Mahomes is legit.
Yeah, they've won 8 in a row, Dean. They've had one of the toughest schedules. Their only losses have come against 4 of the best teams in the league.
Who's this?
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
They lost the Ravens by 1. They lost to the
run.
Chargers by a touchdown. They lost to the Bills, and they lost to the Titans. They've beaten everyone else. They've beaten the Packers. They've beaten the Cowboys. They've beaten one of the best quarterbacks in the league, as you know, Derek Carr.
That's another one. Grant argues with me all the time about how great Derek Carr is, and I'm just like, ugh.
Grant, I thought you loved Josh Allen.
I do love Josh Allen. I do, but I wouldn't put them the way they've been playing lately. They're not really a great team. I have money on the Bills to win the Super Bowl. And I still think they have one of the best shots in the AFC outside of the Chiefs to get there. But I wouldn't say anyone in the AFC outside of the Chiefs are a great team.
I would agree. And outside of CH being hurt, they're healthy-ish.
Yeah. I mean, once
COVID changes everything on the fly. It's
Yeah.
The chat says the Colts are a dangerous team. And if I thought about the Colts being a dangerous team, it's like, what happens when they're down 14-0? They don't feel like a team that can come back down. Just that feels, I don't want to say insurmountable, but it just doesn't. That's not an offense built to come back down 14.
No, they aren't. But
they've got the weapons.
Yeah, Dean, you act as if that matters.
Well, I mean, there's a scenario where they can find themselves scuffling and behind, and they're a good play from a head team. Sure.
Yes, Dean, that all factors into a team's ability to win. Saying, "Oh, they can't do it in this scenario," that's a ridiculous thing to say in any circumstance. It's all about how good they are. Every team has flaws. Doesn't make them
kind of the point. That's kind of the point I'm making, though. I think there's no team that's impervious to poking the holes through them. It's kind of my
there's process. No team in NFL history that's impervious. No team has ever gone undefeated outside of the Dolphins.
Wait,
the Patriots Super Bowl.
The Patriots did too. That Super Bowl meant stupid catch never happened, Grant.
Well, even that, they almost lost to the like. That's the thing. They were they were the best team in the
David
league.
Tyree catch that we're thinking about? Wait, was that you're saying that wasn't a catch? The David Tyree catch against the football against the helmet?
Dean, I don't want to have PTSD on live recorded TV.
I don't know if you're allowed to have. Like, I always get into this with Patriots fans. Like, you have so many Super Bowls. Like, I don't even have PTSD from the Seahawks and that last second interception versus the Patriots.
You mean
like,
they should have run it with Marshawn, that pass?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Which I still stand by that it wasn't a bad idea to throw.
No, I loved it. It was an amazing idea. It was great. I'm right there.
It was an incredible interception. Like, you got to jump in that route was amazing.
No, I understand what you're saying. That 18-1 season for me as a sports fan, that was the hardest loss I've ever, as a fan, endured in my life. The Super Bowl, the other ones after it, whatever. Eli's Eli, but that one loss was brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
But like, nobody was feeling sympathetic for y'all. Like,
No, yeah. I'm still not.
World's smallest violin playing for the Patriots fans because you guys have had it. Yeah.
I went into my classroom the next day, and my colleagues and tons of my students at the time literally covered every inch of my classroom wall with pictures of Eli. Every inch. PTSD.
That's pretty great. That's pretty funny.
It was. And when the Broncos beat them in the playoffs, my room was filled with balloons, orange and blue balloons. It was great.
Yeah. Well, but when they won, though, I assume you had some sort of paraphernalia when they won the Super Bowl or something of some sort. No.
I was as obnoxious as you can even dream of. Literally lathered from head to toe in gear, multiple flags that I walked up and down the halls with. It was so great. And
you guys are watching Grant, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like Grant said, it's happened so many times that I've enjoyed doing it each time.
Yeah, no problem with people being a-holes when their team wins.
It's fun.
Yeah, just have no problem when people hate you for it.
The real,
I'm like I said, I'm from Boston. I could care less.
The real question is if Shrek plays any flash drafts for NFL.
Oh,
I can't.
Oh,
yeah, you can.
We can do that out here.
Yeah.
We got a minute and a half until the next one.
Pass, by the way.
Nah, I'm good.
Probably a wise call.
Hollins just got a 40-yard pass, by the way, for the Dolphins, and he just jumps right into the optimal, for all we know.
Yeah, I can't pay attention, Devin, and do two things at once. I'm not wired that way.
If you guys watch us on YouTube, what up, YouTube? Hit that like button, do subscribe. This is Shrek, aka Brian. Shrek won himself $1 million this last week, and congratulations to him. If y'all want to chat with us, you're looking for the chat. Where's the chat at? It's in the Discord, RotoGrinders.com/Discord. There are some premium channels. There are some non-premium channels. A non-premium channel to talk with us throughout this show is the live stream chat channel. Again, RotoGrinders.com/Discord. We're keeping our eye on that. What's on your mind? We have a lot of we talk a lot of bets, gambling, live stuff, but like Grant, you haven't really taken many stands. Not really much has happened, basically. The line.
Yeah, no, this
you like to react to scoring and like how the line moves, and that hasn't really happened a lot.
Yeah, no, it's been a trash game.
It's not been a lot of fun. Yeah.
So Grant, are you more into doing the betting now that it's legal here, or are you still doing both?
No, I'd say probably about 80% of my play is on player props.
Okay.
And only like 15% is on DFS now. Like,
what site are you? I don't know if you're allowed to even say it, but like, how are you doing player props? Because, for example, the one that is really popular, we can't use here.
Which one?
Oh God.
Like BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel.
No, DraftKings we can. It's the one that.
There's the Barstool has one. I think Grant, you play Barstool, right?
Yeah, I can't think. Sugar House. I'm trying to think of ones that
Caesars.
aren't here.
So no, all of the casino ones, the big ones like that, we can do. I'm looking right now. It's the one that.
Oh, Prize Picks. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yes, Prize Picks. Thank you. Yeah, we can't.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I do it strictly strictly on betting websites. It's pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm literally on 14 different sports books. Like I bet if you ever want to get into it, hit me up in the DMs. I'll give you the breakdown on stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, like I play on WinBet. I play on PointsBet. Well, not really anymore. I hate them now. Caesars, DK, BetRivers, FanDuel, MGM, Maxim, Barstool, The Score. Gosh. Yeah, there's so many. Like, honestly, one of the best ways to make money if you haven't signed up for sports books is take advantage of all the deposit bonuses and everything. I can give you a full-on course breakdown of that. But yeah, like there's so much free money. What ones have you bet on?
So I've only used FanDuel and the DK Sportsbook.
Yeah, so like on Caesars, they match your first bet with a free bet up to $1,000, and realistically, if you know what you're doing, you can turn that into a $750 gain. Maxim Bet gets you like a ton of free bets based on just depositing, and then like a few other things. MGM, I think, has $1,000 free risk-free bet, which is not actually risk-free. They give it back in.
Flea Flicker.
Oh, who?
Flea Flicker to Waddle for like a 25-yard pass.
Darn it!
I wish that he would remember that Parker's on his team and throw to him.
You're telling me.
Parker has 0 catches. I don't know if he's gotten hurt or I assume he's still in the field. I've seen nothing about him getting injured, but
Wait,
0 catches for Parker.
Dean, how many points?
I'm looking at it.
How many points do you get for 0 catches?
I believe 0 points. I'm fairly certain.
Just wanted to double check.
Conversations going on in our Discord. First, I don't know, Shrek, do you know Ramazan? He wants to borrow 78 cents. Do you happen to have 78 cents for Ramazan to borrow?
So that would no, because the total payout that they gave me was like 1,020,000 something, and I rounded it up so that it was to 69 cents.
There you go.
So no, I can't.
Drizzy26 tells Shrek I'm next and calling it now. So there you go.
I feel like he's already done that before.
Ask Drizzy if he's going to Arizona.
There you go. Drizzy, if you're still listening, are you going to Arizona? Yeah, Vanette was another guy who was kind of chalky. I think he was kind of chalky, like $1,000 or so. He has apparently 0 catches as well, the tight end for New Orleans. I mean, Book's only completed 7 passes. What do you want from the guy? The most important conversation, though, going on from Ramazan in the chat, a lot of questions here. Are peanut butter cups the best candy bar? Well, first of all, I would say they're not a candy bar.
Yeah.
Peanut butter cups are not candy bars, right? I don't think so.
I
What if
mean,
they melt and they form one?
Will you take them out of the cup and like merge them, like put them next to each other like a Venn diagram?
Yeah. Venn diagram.
That's a lot of work, man. Peanut butter cups, are they a candy bar? That's a good Twitter question. I say no. Let's say they are, Grant, are they the best candy bar?
no, I'm a weird guy. I love a good Score bar or a good Heath bar.
Oh, you got to get a toothbrush that sticks in your teeth for like days, though, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is it worth it?
Yeah. What's bad about having candy in your teeth all the time?
I mean, there's a lot.
The dentist.
I went to the dentist like 3 months ago after not going for like 3 years. I'm like, yeah, you got perfect teeth.
And that's how many score? You often knock out a scoreboard like once a month or something? How often you're rocking with the score?
Not terribly often, but it is I don't eat a ton of candy bars. Like, I love toffee.
Either.
Yeah.
Is that like if you're going to get like a Blizzard? Is that like your go-to, like the Heath Blizzard?
Oh, no, I love a good cheesecake Blizzard.
Yeah, cheesecake's good.
Cheesecake Blizzard? That's a thing? They've created that?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of it.
Like, I think they call them royal cheesecake. Oh, gosh, that was almost intersected.
Well, make some royal.
They just put that on. They're great at marketing. How else? Dairy Queen's a bunch of geniuses. They go on there every single time you order something. They turn it upside down.
If you don't turn it upside down, I'm not taking it. You better turn that upside down.
I just love the TikTok videos of people who used to. I don't even know if they're real. That used to work at Dairy Queen, and they go and they give you it, and they turn it up the drink upside down. But I'm fairly certain those are all staged.
Yeah. What, TikTok's not real? Is that what you're telling me?
A lot of times, no.
That's disappointing. I always believe social media.
So they're saying Snickers. Is Snickers the best candy? I mean, Snickers is like the chalk. It's fine, but like,
yeah.
There's no. What's the ceiling on a Snickers? You know.
Yeah, they're just consistently good.
It's fine. It's fine. Almond Joy top 5. Get out of here. Like.
Yeah, that's insane.
Top 5 what? Worst candy bars?
Whoever wrote that is like 800 years old.
This is all Ramazan. He had a bunch of questions.
Sorry, Ramazan, but no.
where do Twix rate? Again, Twix is not a candy bar.
Yes, it is. It's literally 2 bars. They are bars. They're
If
literally
anything, it's candy bars. It's not a candy bar.
Well, one Twix comes with 2 candy bars.
Yeah.
It is a candy
Twix guy
bar.
or right Twix guy?
I'm right Twix.
And then he's asking for the 5 greatest candy bars.
But also Butterfinger is potentially one of my favorites. Like people forget how good those are, and then you have one,
It's
you're like,
solid.
these are awesome.
It's my favorite.
also
I was
gets
just going to
stuck
say
in your teeth.
Butterfinger's number 1 for me.
By the way, Daniel, you never asked me about my Carrabba's experience.
Oh, well, hold on a second. What is that a pass to Waddle? Yep, that's the nonsense, like receiver coming across the middle, just like pitch it to him like a half a foot, and Waddle just caught a touchdown, and he's waddling.
Why? Seriously, Parker, go to Parker.
One of these
1 yard
times,
touchdown.
just one of these throws.
This thing is insurmountable. Is it insurmountable? 17-3.
Yeah, yeah, it's game.
That's
Just get out of here, Devin.
Brock's not coming back. Dean, did Drizzy answer? Is he going to Arizona? I don't have.
Let's see. I don't believe he answered. Let's see.
I need to give him a big hug.
I didn't repeat the question, but I assume like that he heard your question, so I don't know if he answered or not. Devin, feel free to.
I
find
believe
it
he
if
says
if
no
missed it.
to my knowledge, but what DK has going on out there.
Oh, okay.
So what does DK have going on out there?
So it's the tournament. What do they call it? The Tournament of Champions.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's the final in the riveting film that Alex is doing with Whistle and Big T.
Yeah, did they just get like a pass to get in there? I've seen like the commercials and stuff and like the tweets and stuff, but was that like did they win something to get in there, or is just like they just
they won the Millionaire Maker.
Well, Whistle
so
wins
anybody
everything, so
anybody
yes.
won $1 million. Oh,
Yeah.
you're in it too. Okay, I see. So
Yeah.
then there's like 3 familiar faces, I guess. That they.
What's
kinda
the
tell
top
them
price of that? $1 million?
I think it was. So I talked to one of my DK people today, and I think he said it was 1.3, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's a small. It'll be a small group. It's like 100 people, I think.
I was almost in there if it weren't for the Cardinals losing or the Bills covering. I would have been in there with you.
For on the betting side or
Yeah.
on the DF? Yeah.
Well, you also got, but that one you got the millionaire thing. That was close. Gosh darn it.
By the way, the most underrated candy bar in the business. You guys ready for it? You want to guess? Well, what do you think the most underrated candy bar in the business is?
Baby Ruth.
No, probably rated.
Did we talk about Three Musketeers?
We did it, but that's probably like second most underrated. It's a good nomination.
Milky Way?
I like that number. No, Milky Way like 4-man Snickers.
What's the most underrated?
Whatchamacallit?
No.
Yeah.
Who's on
Fun to
first?
say too.
It's
It is fun to say. That's the only thing good about it.
I was gonna
No,
say
it's got a bunch.
Butterfingers
ahead.
need to come with a floss little placard needs to come with
Yeah.
every Butterfinger.
Disagree. Love it. Love the Butterfinger on my teeth.
A dentist recommendation or a dental
For
appointment
days.
possibly.
Yeah, the ADA is shivering.
The ADA told me I have great teeth.
Well,
And then you said I
Snickers
love
make you happy.
Butterfingers without floss.
Oh. Did they give you a
Yeah.
lollipop?
Lollipops. Yeah.
Grant, you
All
recall
of
you
these
got a
candy
lollipop or
bars
not?
get stuck in my beard, and that's the worst.
Do you know how long it actually takes plaque to turn into tartar?
I don't know.
24 hours.
Either.
You don't need to brush your teeth right after having a candy bar.
Why do you
Acidity
have
is a
it?
different
Don't
thing.
brush your teeth is what I'm hearing.
Why do you
It's
know
overrated?
that, Grant? Why?
I'm very well versed in ridiculous information.
Yes.
What's the worst thing to get caught in your beard? Like what you mentioned Butterfinger. What else gets caught in there? Like different.
Well,
what
when
do you
your
randomly find?
beard is like this, everything gets caught in it. Doesn't matter what
Yeah.
you're eating. Pasta sauce, jelly, peanut butter, is all
Peanut
all-
butter.
Oh, the worst for me is when I get McDonald's drunkenly on my way home. I'm in an Uber. Like I get Uber.
You're not
Eats,
driving,
I'm
right? I hope.
Yeah. Well, sometimes someone's driving me. One of my friends.
Doesn't it cost more money to like stop at McDonald's for?
Yeah. Well, nowadays, like I used to have my like, if you go through McDonald's, I'll buy you whatever you want. Okay. And so
How
they
much they
always-
advantage of that?
huh?
Do they get like 3 different meals?
Well, they're just happy. Like, I'll give you 5 stars. I'll buy you whatever you want. You need coffee for late at night, like all these things. And back in the day, they used to do it all the time. Haven't like since Uber Eats is out, I'm never going to ask them that. I'm just going to Uber Eats it. But yeah, no, I used to have them take me.
McDonald's. Like, why is that the place you're going to?
Oh, it was close to my old house. I prefer Taco Bell now.
Yeah, but now you also got In-N-Out down where you are, right?
It's a ways away, and I don't think it's on Uber Eats. Like, otherwise, yeah. Like, I don't think they'll put it on Uber Eats for a while just because the line is so gosh darn long. But also, I don't think it's open until 2 a.m. like Taco Bell is, which I'm not now. I'm getting old. I'm rarely ever home, like out and past midnight. And Desmond Bain has 20 points. Suck it, Dean.
Who doesn't like Desmond Bain? He's good. I think I don't.
You said don't play him today. Like, yeah, he's fine.
I didn't say
I
like,
would play.
I said he wasn't like this great value, and he wasn't like this great value. And I said it was a better play on I think DraftKings and FanDuel. In chat, by the way, they say for what it's worth, it's a callback. I'm with Grant. Pizza Hut has the best sauce. That's an absurd thing that you said. Like, I can't think people agree with you. There's
no, because I'm
Pizza
right.
Hut.
It literally has the best marinara. I have multiple people who are on my same page.
Yeah, the CEOs of Pizza Hut, maybe.
No, literally a lot of people. People have tried so hard to manipulate it on or replicate it online.
You don't think Italy's mastered marinara sauce?
I don't like what?
I was saying Italy hasn't mastered marinara sauce?
Not as well as Pizza Hut.
Grant, we talked through Twitter once. I don't know if you remember, but was this a place downtown Denver? Double Fisted Mario's?
I think you're talking about Pudge Brothers Pizza or something like that.
Pudge Brothers is a chain. There's that one that's downtown somewhere. You have to go downstairs to it. They're super busy all the time late at night. I want to say it was Double Fisted Mario's or something, but it's so good.
Let's see. I mean, I'm sure we talked in the DMs.
Yeah, we did. I can't remember.
Shrek, Titleist Man 2015 says, tell Shrek I said hi and I love the big guy. So there you go.
You tell that old man I love him.
Well, I just told him, didn't I? Yeah. I imagine he didn't like just hang up, but yeah.
Yeah, Pudge Brothers Pizza.
Pudge, it's Pudge, okay. Titles Man is part of our secret chat. It's not really a secret.
Oh man, are you a part of any secret chats, Grant? I don't think I am.
I'm not. I don't want to give away my information, even though I give my information away willingly all the time.
We started.
I can just text you and you'll tell me stuff.
We started our secret chat so we didn't have to listen to riddles.
that was the move.
Yes, and God, that felt so good to say out loud.
Well, that hey, it's whatever works for you, man. Now they're just going down the top 5, everything in the chat. We got to hit everything up. Top 5 cereals. Yeah.
Wait, we didn't talk about my Carrabba's experience.
Oh yeah. Tell. Have you been to a Carrabba's before? I mean, a man of your means, a man of your stature at this point, Shrek. Now you can afford potentially Carrabba's. I've heard good things.
I've been to Carrabba's. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, suck it, Dean. Yeah. So I literally, me and my fiance decided to have a nice little date night out, and we were going to go to this nice Italian local restaurant. It was closed, Dean, so I actually was planning on going to one.
Carrabba's is a chain. Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I was I went to another place that was supposed to be really nice, and it was closed. I'm like, let's just go to Carrabba's.
Way to call ahead. Way to use like your phone.
I did call ahead. They didn't answer, but it said online that they were open. You act like I don't know what I'm doing, Daniel. So we go there and we sit down, and there's a booth like right behind her. I'm staring at it, like just the next door booth. And this woman who's going through a divorce is talking so loud, and like I'm just sitting there listening, like moderately ignoring my fiance. So I finally text her. I'm like, sorry, I can't stop listening to this. And she's like, no, I'm totally on the same page. We're listening until she leaves. And just all the things, like she talked about her entire divorce during that time and with her grandparents. And at one point in time, she just says like, so yeah, I'm trying to fuck him. There's my first F-bomb of the year.
This is on YouTube, Grant. We're not just hanging out.
That was my first one of the year.
Family show, Grant. Come on.
This
And then she's like,
it's a class joint.
yeah, well, she's like talking loud enough where at least 6 tables over, like, yeah, why doesn't he just let me sit on his face? And like saying loud enough, I'm like, you're talking to your grandparents in a crowded restaurant where everyone can hear you. And I'm loving every moment of this.
Yeah. Was this a rhetorical question or she was waiting for an answer?
Well, she was just like explaining her old divorce, and her grandparents are just sitting there like, yeah, okay.
Been there, done that.
Like, yeah, should have been banging you. But it was just fantastic. It was beautiful.
Well, there you go. That's an endorsement for Carrabba's. I haven't been in a while now. I'm tempted.
Oh, the lobster ravioli, pretty good too.
Carrabba's, a family joint.
I think
nobody tried to silence her. Or, yeah,
I think
no. I was
Parker's at Carrabba's right now because he still doesn't have a damn catch.
Well, yeah, I think Waddle's got 9 for 87 for a touchdown. Lindsey's got, it was inexplicably, Lindsey has 10 carries for 26 yards. Gaskin has 2 carries for 5. Lindsey's got 11 carries, by the way. He's like their workhorse. Johnson with 7 for 28. Gaskin is the third guy. I guess at some point, why is Brissett in the box score? Is he on the field at some point? I don't know.
Vanette having 0 sucks.
Yeah, a person named Wolf has 2 catches for 8 yards.
Yeah, we saw him early in the game. He was a tight end.
Mr. Wolf from Pulp Fiction. What's this guy's name? Ethan Wolf. I've never heard of him. All right, he is a tight end for New Orleans. Callaway's got 3 catches. Little Jordan Humphrey has got 2 catches for 14 yards. Lindsey gets another carry. Man, this is Books at 9 for 13. No carries. Kamara 10 carries for 32 yards. 2 catches for 7. Just awful. And they have like a 63% chance of making the playoffs before this game, at least.
Wild stuff.
This is
it is really. I mean, with COVID right now, everything is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Well, were these teams stricken with COVID? I'm trying to think as far as these just kind of outside of the quarterback for New Orleans, obviously, right?
I think half their entire linebacking core is out, something like that.
Is that what it is? Okay, I didn't do any work, or I wasn't working on this slate. It was not my job to dig into these things, but that might have been an issue, I suppose. But yeah, some pretty rough teams, obviously. 3rd and 2 for Miami.
How much time is even left? It's still the third quarter.
The third quarter. Tua just took a big shot, and he did not get the first down, about a yard short. And I assume they're going to be punting. Looks like he's fine, but took a pretty big shot in the shoulder. So New Orleans will be getting the ball back, in theory. I assume they're not. Yeah, they're not going to go for this on the home 25, whatever it is. Pretty nice tackle.
What's your NFL team, Dean? I don't remember.
So when I was a child, it's what we talked about before. Like you pick your favorite team at like 8 or 10 or whatever it is, and that's your team. And I grew up in South Florida, Miami Dolphins. You'd assume that was my team.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I grew up not liking the Dolphins. I was not a fan of the Dolphins for whatever reason. I don't know why. All my friends were fans of the Dolphins. Maybe I was being some natural contrarian, but I grew up as I liked watching the Houston Oilers offense. I enjoyed like Warren Moon and the run and shoot with their 4 receivers, Haywood Jeffries and Curtis Duncan and Ernest Gibbons, and I'm missing the 4th guy. But so I was a Houston Oilers fan. The same sort of theory that Grant had. His team moved, like Houston moved to Tennessee, and I just could not. I couldn't do it. I don't remember why. I just couldn't like force it. It didn't happen organically. I'm like, I guess I just don't have a team, and that's it. I don't have a favorite team. So yeah, Houston Oilers are my team, and they're no longer in existence. But those powder blues are beautiful.
Yes, they are.
I like that. The logo is pretty cool. But
yeah, for me, like I said, I grew up Patriots fan, so I've always loved them. But same kind of time frame as you. I love Randall Cunningham for what he brought to the game and how dynamic he was.
He's got one of the biggest punts ever, right? He had like an 80-yard punt one day.
He did.
I
was watching that game. I remember it. I was like, whoa, it's the first time you saw a quarterback do something crazy like that.
Yeah. Trying to think there's something. Obviously he was a good quarterback too, but I think it was one of those things where it was probably like 4th and 5, whatever. They instead of like punting it, they like with the actual punter, they had nobody back and the ball just kept going. I think that's sort of how that works. But whatever it is, I think he's in the books for having the longest punt of all time. There's Kamara with a wildcat carry. I guess they're kind of working that in as well at this point. But 17-3, end of the third quarter.
I love that aspect of sports when something strange happens, it becomes history. Like when Doug Flutie did that drop kick extra point with the Patriots.
Oh,
that was really cool.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
In case you didn't know I was gone.
I didn't know you were gone. We're just hanging out here talking. That's something they did for him. Like the game was out of hand, right? And they just kind of had some fun. Yep. And did you know that was even a rule? I didn't know that was a rule. If you scored.
I remember watching it and then thinking, what did I just see? Rewind. I'm like, what, how? And then immediately the commentator started talking about the history of the play. And I was like, wow, this is total Belichick doing something really different, but cool.
By the way, Tony Snell updates, 10 minutes into the first quarter, Portland down 27-23. Snell in 5 minutes and 38 seconds, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 shots.
So, does he have any assists or assist turnovers?
He's got nothing. He's got 2 fouls. That's what he's got.
So Devin, he's doing his very good impersonation of, again, Devontae Parker.
Just killing me. Parker over Waddle. Parker over Waddle. Well, that was one of the few things I had in my DFS lineups for Showdown was Parker over Waddle. It is what it is.
And to our knowledge, Parker is playing football this evening. He's out there, right?
Yeah, he's out there. I saw him earlier.
Not catching balls. Not getting looks.
Rich Rebar would say he's exercising. I presume that's what's going on out there.
I mean, shout out to Rich. He mentioned way earlier in the year that you cannot play Miami running backs. And that was one of those things early in the season. I put a mental note down. That has just held up true every single week.
Yeah. And if you're going to play him, play Duke Johnson when nobody expects to be Duke Johnson week. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Graham.
They've
quick.
got a number one, but they don't like asking for whatever reason.
Yeah. I was
their line is terrible too, which is just that's
it's good enough for Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
One week. Well, that was against the Jets. Wasn't that against the Jets? I think it was against the Jets.
Duke Johnson. Yeah. Scoreboard pointing in the worst way.
I'm not the Duke Johnson homer. I'm just saying he had the one big week and I'm just still bitter because I think I had a decent amount of gasket that week and he was coming off COVID and he wasn't practicing and none of that kind of and none of it came out. I think that was the reason why he wasn't getting pushed so much in the game. And of course, Duke was playing well, so there was no reason to throw Gaskin out there when Duke's out there thriving. 3rd and 5 for New Orleans on their own 35. Let's get a first down. That's how
I'm getting yelled at.
drives.
I'm getting yelled at by Troncat in the chat to stop talking
Why are you getting
about
yelled at?
Because I'm talking about Bill Belichick and swear that guy. The minute I say something about the Pats, he'll send me an emoji going puke or whatever. Suck it, Troncat.
Yeah.
I don't hate the Patriots. Like I know a lot of people are jealous of them or hate them for whatever reason. Like they do things really, really well for a really long time.
Now that Brady's gone, I love the Patriots.
Did you hate Brady?
I did, but now that he's on a different team, I hate him a whole lot less. He's just a lovable guy. Now that he's not on the Patriots, I mean, I still don't think he's the greatest of all time, but.
Oh my God. What was that call on 4th and 1? Just rolling out to nowhere. That was awful. They went for it, which I respect on their own 35, but that was a horrendous call. I don't know why you wouldn't give the ball to Kamara because he's the clear best player on your team. Who was this pass even to? Turnover on downs. Yeah. Did you see that question? I'm sure you saw it, Shrek. Somebody asked Belichick after the big loss to Buffalo. He's the normal curmudgeon, but he's never happy he's never happy in general, like it seems like, but even more so, kind of a sourpuss when things are going poorly. And they're like, yeah, this doesn't have nothing to do with the game, but do you happen to have I'm writing a story on New Year's resolutions. What's your New Year's resolution? Did you catch this?
Wasn't that when he kind of just looked at the reporter and ended the conference right away?
Pretty much, yeah.
They didn't even say anything. He just got up and left. I love it.
It's like, nah, nothing. I think he said no. I think he did answer and say no, but I mean, is that like a bet? Was she bet by somebody to like ask him? Are you just trying to tilt the guy?
I think, yeah. He's hilarious.
he's supposed to be like a funny guy, like in theory, like behind closed doors, behind everything. Allegedly, he's like a funny dude. You know, I know he's a big Howard Stern fan. Like he called him the Howard Stern many, many years ago after winning the Super Bowl. Like you could tell he likes the show, but he wouldn't like play along and like joke around. But like you can tell he likes it too, if that makes sense. Like he doesn't want to publicly. I guess he likes the image of being a curmudgeon type, I suppose. But
yeah, I mean that's his public character, if you will. He doesn't want to do it. He loves the football aspect, and he feels like he doesn't have anything to gain talking to the public. And I mean,
yeah, well, there isn't. Well, what is there to gain, right? I don't know.
yeah, for him, nothing. It's taking away from planning to win 88 more Super Bowls.
Gesicki caught a pass. I believe that was Gesicki, right? Not many yards, but
It wasn't Parker.
So
It
when
was-
a
it was-
lineman when a lineman catches a touchdown and not Parker, we riot.
I'm pulling up
Sick of these
credits.
trolling linemen.
man, we got 13 minutes left in this game. Man, I like the under, but I didn't want to bet the under because the number is so low. But yeah, the under feels like a lock right now. I think it was in a dome and it's 37.5. Like when do you ever get, there's no elements at all. That seems about as low as it gets, but fully justified with these teams. There was a pass. That was to, I think the backup tight end. But yeah, 2nd and 10. Miami's still passing the ball out here, but they are in field goal range too. And if the game wasn't, lead wasn't insurmountable as is, it's definitely going to be if they kick a field goal with currently up 14. They are in field goal range. So, man, it's a rough game.
It's
Gaskins
ugly,
out there, by the
ugly.
way.
Any fourth quarter
Hey.
bets, Grant?
No, nothing. This game is horrible.
29.5 total for the live odds, if anybody was curious.
I'm losing
21.5
money today
is
for the
total?
first time in a while.
Wait, Devin, 21.5 can't be the total.
So
They're
20,
currently at
29.5.
Oh, 29.5. They're at 20. That's a touchdown and a field goal? Ugh. I don't know, man. Miami might score a touchdown here. New Orleans won't kick field goals if that happens. Like they shouldn't. Yeah. I don't know. You got a thought on that, Grant?
I don't know.
9.5
This
more
game's
points?
trash. This game's horrible.
Are you tilting some basketball stuff? What are you looking at?
I mean, yeah, of course I'm tilting basketball stuff, but it's just normal. I have a lot of bets in the late game at least, but I've had like one losing day over the last 8.
Okay. So you
2
can
over
lose
the
once in a
last
while, it's
like
fine.
15. And I'm actually losing money. I don't like looking at my spreadsheet and seeing losing $800, even though that's a meaningless amount.
There's an
Are
easy
you a
way to
Celtic
fix that.
fan?
Just delete it.
Yeah.
It never happened.
What are you talking about? Yeah, so I'm a Boston everything fan first, yes,
Okay.
but I do, I've been out here since 2001, and I'll root for the Nuggets. They're probably my second favorite team.
You go to the games? You get
I-
to watch Jokic in person?
Yep, I've gone quite a few times to go see Jokic. I love him.
Did you get
That's
those
weird.
seats behind his brothers? You can't see anything?
I have not sat on the same side as his brothers. Nope.
Boban's in the game.
Oh,
Boban's
shoot,
in?
used them.
What?
Oh,
They dusted him
bye.
off?
Yep.
Let's see. They played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're 11 deep right now, Dallas.
I have a lot of money on DFS over. A
Over
lot.
what? How many points?
Over 17.5. Over 10.5, over 15 plus, 20 plus, and then over 70.5 PRA.
Powell scored 11 points in the first half somehow.
And then
Four
that's
for
he
five
probably
with-
started, and that was it.
Brunson, no points, but 3 and 3.
Dwight Powell.
Yeah.
Nance has 4 boards and 3 assists, but no points. Little's nice little start for him, 8 points and 3 boards. There's Brunson's on the board, DFS on the bench. And the Boston guys got there, by the way. Pritchard did pretty well, put up 24, 8 and 6. He's been, you never really know how good somebody is, right? It's like you just know how much they're actually helping the team, but he seems like, I feel like he's a decent NBA player, like a good rotation guy, if nothing else, or like an 8th man or a 9th man.
Rich is good when he gets run, for sure.
Yeah.
Eric
Brown,
Bledsoe's nuking again already in the first quarter.
is he?
Yep, he's got 10.5 DK points in 3 minutes.
Does he have 2 threes? Yeah, he's got 2 threes and a steal
Whereas-
just for fun.
Whereas Harden has 1 assist. One.
Yeah, we're less than 3 minutes in. I'm not terribly worried.
There's Larry Nance, but I've been talking. You told me Larry Nance stinks, Grant. 3 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. Pepper in that box score, man.
Yeah, we're in the first quarter, Daniel.
Yeah, that's the point. He did all that in the first quarter.
Yeah, we're still in the first. Ooh, dumplings.
What?
Where?
Fiance brought me dumplings.
Oh man, did you text her? Or did it just sort of happened organically?
Knows to bring me dumplings because she's a good fiance.
Is this a regular Monday occurrence? I feel like the dumplings
love
have
it.
happened on Mondays.
Yeah, they happen a lot on Mondays.
Well, he invested in like 2 cases at Costco. He has to eat. He has to get them out before they expire or something. I don't know. How many?
No,
cases
they're just
left in the box?
delicious.
How good could they possibly be? Like microwavable dumplings?
They're the best dumplings. The first of all, they're in an air fryer. You dumb.
Whatever, man. Well, I mean, okay, you're saying the best dumplings in the world came out of an air fryer.
No, I'm saying my favorite dumplings.
I mean,
Was
Dean,
that
let's
same-
just be honest. You're not going to order dumplings, right? Even from a restaurant.
Well, why wouldn't you? Why are his favorite and the best 2 different things? Why would my favorite dumplings are the 6 best dumplings? Why are those 2
Because
different
I haven't
things?
had that many different dumplings. Like,
You're not a dumpling connoisseur. You don't want to take that mantle just yet.
I mean, I've had a decent amount, but I have them at like normally not great places.
Yeah. Did you get the dumplings at Carrabba's?
Nope, they don't have dumplings. Dumb.
Carrabba's
It's a
is
fine
Italian.
Italian restaurant.
I know, but they might have as an appetizer the Italian
No!
dumplings.
There's no, such
No
thing as an
Italian place sells
dumpling.
dumplings.
And if it does, you don't want them.
What nationalities claim dumplings? I feel like that's a Chinese restaurant thing.
Yeah.
Like a sushi place, possibly.
Not Italian.
Yeah,
Not
generally
Italian.
Asian.
But some foods cross over. They cross over.
Not dumplings.
You can get wings of many different kind of nationalities. Who invented the dumpling?
I guess either Japan, Korea, or China.
Right
Okay.
now, the answer is Grant's fiance. And
That
I
is
want some
correct.
dumplings. No dumplings out
grandson-
here in Elizabeth, Grant. It's just trees.
Well,
Is
go
there
to
a Costco?
Costco.
Yeah, I don't go to the grocery store. My wife does that.
So
You can order them online.
Okay.
he claims that Costco has the place that sells things in bulk. You know Costco. They have the best dumplings in the world, according to Grant.
I never said dumplings in the world. I said my favorite dumplings that I've had.
Whatever, man. You know what I'm saying, though. You said they're the best dumplings you ever had. Have you only had dumplings in 2 different places?
What you're saying is trying to discredit me.
You discredit yourself by saying the best dumplings you've ever had are from Costco.
This is
Unless, of
just
course,
when you
only have
both.
dumplings
This is just when you both say to each other, "I don't listen to you any time ever."
Devin, this is why I sat in the waiting room for so long, because Dean was arguing about a ball.
I had
What
to
were we arguing about?
I had to message Dean in 3 different venues to let him know that Shrek was in the waiting room.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought like halftime. I was waiting for halftime, like officially halftime.
No, Dean, this
I
is
got
it was probably
this is every show. All right, it's fine. You are a host. You got a lot of plates spinning. You don't notice it. It's all good.
yeah, I
I
try.
love you, Dean. You're awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm not a fan.
Oh, Grant, I'm right here, man.
That's why I said it.
Yeah, well, you like to get the reaction and say it's on his face. I guess that makes sense. Fair enough. Did you get any like dipping sauce? The marinara wouldn't work, right? Even though it's the best. What do you dip?
Stop trying to make dumplings Italian, Dean. No marinara. Stop it.
Yeah, some nice Italian dumplings.
I feel like I've had. You know what I'm thinking? It was like it's a totally different thing, but the pocket, but like cheese in them or something like a ravioli. It's a similar.
You
concept,
were
but-
assuming a dumpling was a ravioli?
No. But like I was thinking like that. Yeah, I know what they are, obviously, but yeah, I got confused.
Obviously, I'm not sure it's very obvious to anyone.
I'm aware of what a ravioli is, and I'm aware of what a dumpling is. I've experienced both. Where are the greatest raviolis at, Grant?
Carrabba's, the lobster ravioli.
Chef Boyardee can.
Oh gosh, I used to love a good. I'm more of a tortellini guy.
Yep.
Yeah, but I used to love Chef Boyardee ravioli and tortellini.
I saw a commercial for that, the chef, right? And in the commercial, they call him Chef Boyardee. They enunciate it differently. Have we been saying it wrong all this time? I always thought it was Chef Boyardee as well, but the guy's like Chef Boyardee, and like they put like they heavily influence the accent. I don't know, but like if they say it in the commercial, I assume we're saying it wrong. That's all. I just so you don't embarrass yourself next time, Grant, when you drop Chef Boyardee is the best.
I'm never embarrassed.
It'll happen when you go to an Italian restaurant with Dean and he asks for dumplings.
Or some soy sauce to go with his ravioli.
Yeah, those
You
like
can find
cheesy
it-
dumplings with the marinara on top.
I think that's called cheese sticks, right?
No, that's ravioli.
Do you guys have
Bring
some
me your
wasabi
finest
to go with
dumplings,
this,
sir.
Alfredo?
We get
By the way,
fortune
this-
cookies here.
But can we agree fortune cookies suck? Can we agree on that? Like, it's not that good. You ever
Fortune
they're
cookies?
always stale. Why are they always stale? They're always
They aren't.
stale. They're
What place? You're in Florida. That's why.
they're never fresh. I've never had a fresh fortune cookie.
Oh,
No,
gosh.
is that just me?
Dean, you have not
Never
been
tastes
to
fresh.
any good Chinese restaurants.
Of course I have. I went to the best. I'm not Jason. Was it Thai? And then
Yeah, that's not a Chinese restaurant. They're entirely
said-
different countries.
I said adjacent. That's a similar.
It's not even adjacent. They're entirely different.
Can we get a ruling?
Yeah, no, I went to this nice American place, you know, with the burritos and the tacos. No, that's Mexican. Well, they're adjacent.
What the Dolphins defense just scored a touchdown? What is going on? Like the Saints lost like 10 yards like in 3 consecutive plays, and then they just sit here just score and forget it. Doesn't matter. I guess they're gonna review this, but that looked like it may have been down. Kamara's saying he was down, but this is a disaster. Well, let's see. Let's see if he officially fumbled the ball here. Yeah, I think he was. Well, I don't know. His knee looked like he touched, but we'll see. We're gonna review this one and.
Well, I bet everyone who bet the over is not happy.
Oh, you're right.
Or under
Wait, you mean
is not
you
happy.
mean the under?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it still wouldn't get there. It's only a 20. It would only be 30. What was the
Grant,
name
did
of that
you do
restaurant
play?
in Vegas?
Did you do a player? Excuse me, a player prop on Harden?
Yeah, I got over 27.5 points.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's only got 6, but he explodes as you know. That's
Yeah,
only
I'm
halfway
not-
through the first.
I'm not worried at all with Harden.
Yeah.
Lotus of Siam, or I'm probably mispronouncing that, but Lotus of
Oh,
Siam,
in Vegas?
Lotus- yeah, you've been there before? That's what I'm talking
No.
about. Adjacent. Oh, wait.
They're
Yes,
entirely
yeah,
different
yeah.
foods.
This crossover. Get out of here.
Dean, if you're looking for crossover, Italian food and Chinese food are the furthest thing you're going to get for that.
That's pale.
Didn't the Chinese like officially? Didn't they invent pizza? And wasn't that like
They
supposedly how
invented
that
the
worked?
noodle. They invented the noodle, I believe.
Who's on the scoreboard for inventing pizza?
Do either of you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
Ugh.
No.
Mm-mm.
Grant,
Deb
come on,
does not
really?
like it.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
Grant, so you watch Laugh Track network comedies? Get
Oh,
out. of
I'm
here.
sorry. Have you watched Seinfeld before? I hear you like Seinfeld. Is that not a
That's the
Laugh
last
Track
one.
network?
That's the last. That was in
It was
2000.
still
That's the last-
it still is in that category, and you just said,
I've
do you
grown
really
up.
watch that category, which you claim Seinfeld is one of the greatest shows. of all time.
Got a technicality, Dean.
No, it's,
Wait,
that's
I
when Laugh Track.
like Seinfeld too. I gotta say, but that's Dean. That's because we're old. Well, I'm old.
Yeah, How I Met Your Mother is a fantastic show.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, here's an interesting conversation. How I Met Your Mother, as it is on broadcast television, I don't like. I'm not a fan of it. How I Met Your Mother and Big Bang Theory, two of the ones that I just cannot stand.
Big Bang Theory is terrible.
But
I love Big Bang Theory. There's a lot of people that are your age range that don't like it. I find it entertaining.
I did see a cut, though, of a scene, and they removed the laugh track. I think this was Big Bang Theory. It may have been
Oh.
How I Met Your Mother. They removed the laugh track, and it was dry and, like, dark with the pauses for humor, and it was hilarious. Suddenly, I found myself loving it, and it was such a weird, like, just polarizing transition.
I've watched that where, like I'm sure you've seen it before, where like they cut trailers in different ways where they make like
Oh
comedies
yeah,
and the horrors. That's always fascinating.
my favorite was Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka was a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
These kids are dying. Like every spoiler alert, like every new scene, every new room they go into, like one of the kids just like Augustus, he likes his chocolate. He goes up the tube, and we never see him again.
Dean, do you watch the new? Have you watched the Dexter reboot?
Yes, I've been.
Do not ruin anything for me.
No.
I won't spoil anything. I'll just say this: like nobody demanded
incredible.
this. I didn't demand. Who was demanding this? Nobody was demanding it. But like it's been fun. I'm enjoying it.
It's
good.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's and like of course like they want to. I assume they want to make up for how bad that show ended. I imagine that was part of the inspiration. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I didn't mind the way it ended. I just didn't want it to end. But the reboot, everything about it makes complete sense. It's done. It's perfect.
They've done a good job. You were good with the lumberjack ending.
I didn't mind it because I don't know. I hated the ending of Breaking Bad.
What?
Yeah, I
That was
didn't
one
like
of the
it
best.
either.
That's one of the best finales of all time. They hit everything. Everything was in a bow. There was nothing even left to ask. Well, why did you hate it?
Because the whole last season went on such a tangent with that whole crew. I didn't like that. I mean, I love the show, and
Hey, Daniel,
Oh,
what do you think had a better Rotten Tomatoes score from the critics? How I Met Your Mother or The Office?
well, I mean, I assume since you're asking me this, which Office, the British version or the American version?
American.
Which is it now? Is it a specific season, or it's just the overall encompassing? I can't believe that the critics would say "How I Met Your Mother," but like I assume that's the answer because you're asking.
Yes,
me,
it is the
This
answer.
is your way of proving a point.
Yeah, Devin, you hurt now?
is How I Met Your Mother the one with Doogie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
They're
say,
doing How I Met Your Father, by the way, with Hilary Duff. I don't know if you guys are aware of this.
Oh
It's
my
coming out.
God.
I mean, I'm so conflicted because I hate the ridiculous reboots, but I love Hilary Duff.
Do you?
Really?
No. Shrek,
Wow,
apparently I'm
that's
not
nuts.
following you right now. Yeah, now I'm following you. They just
Huh?
popped up on who to follow. They're listening to me.
Oh,
What,
Yeah.
why do you?
on the Twitterverse? Is that what you mean?
On the Twitterverse. I'm now following you,
the
sir.
Twitter machine, as Dean calls it.
Yeah, I just got the notifications. Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this. You're kind of a big deal. No.
It's like I said in my secret chat. It's you find something that you like to do, and you start to have a little success with it. It feels good. I'm very thankful for everything. I told Schmido earlier today that always will thank RotoGrinders for everything from how it all started.
I can second that. I was doing music videos for concerts and shooting videos for weddings, and now I'm producing shows for DFS and playing fantasy sports, and I love it.
Yeah.
What is
that's
the
fine.
weirdest thing you saw, Devin? The weirdest scenario that happened? Did anybody ever like object? Anything interesting when you're shooting a wedding? Any sort of shenanigans? Anybody get too drunk or what have you seen?
I mean, I've seen some like pretty traditional weddings that were, it was one of those things where I'm counting the minutes until I'm ready to leave. It's like, all right, what do they need me to shoot? What do I get? All right, I got it. Let's leave. I'm done here. I will say I had to edit a contortion training video at one point though. There was a series,
Okay, I would like to see that video.
a series of videos that was just basically like gymnastics moves to help people train to be contortionists.
You think I could be a contortionist? I should probably start training.
Probably not.
You cannot. No.
What?
Too many dumplings. You can't do that.
I'm a surprisingly flexible guy for someone my size.
Yeah, but that's the qualifier. You don't need a qualifier for these people that we're have a video of.
I'm a surprisingly flexible person overall.
I mean, basically what they'll do is they'll put their hands above their head, like walk toward a wall, place their hands
it's
up
weird.
top, and then like shift their chest until between their pecs and their waist is a right angle. That's the sort of like
You want to try that real quick? Rand?
stretches
Give
they'll
that a
do.
shot?
I've done it before. I don't need to again.
Do you need to see the video? The Devin can probably.
I'll cut to full screen if you need me to, Grant.
I can put my legs behind my head. No big deal.
I don't believe you can.
I used to be able to, like 2 years
When?
ago.
No,
Yeah.
I saw pictures of you 2 years ago. No, you couldn't do that 2 years ago.
Just because I'm fat doesn't mean I'm not flexible.
I don't believe this is true.
That's fine. I don't care if you believe it or not.
Well, you seem pretty determined that you want me to believe that this actually
No,
happened.
no, I just said it. I don't care if you believe it or not.
That's Dan Marino? Well, I guess it is Dan Marino. It looked kind of different there for a second.
Grant, I
I
know you're
think
not
he had
up
some
this
work in
late.
his hair.
I know you're not up this way anymore, but were you still going to? I think it's Choppers with draft cheat.
I know. Once COVID hit, we stopped.
Yeah.
I miss it.
It's a great.
I've been there
place.
once or twice since then at night because I was out in Cherry Creek. But gosh, Choppers was a magical place.
So much fun. That
Yeah.
back room at night when you're hammered out of your brain, it's a fun place.
Yeah.
What's great about Choppers? I've never
It's just
been.
it's a nice sports bar, good atmosphere, good people, good community.
Yeah, it's not even nice. But it's not like a trashy sports bar. It's got the trashy feel, but actually like better taken care of.
The back room has the trashy feel. The main room is it's nice.
Yeah,
I did a couple of fantasy football drafts there with buddies where we had the draft board in the back room. It was fun.
yeah.
A good mix of trash, though. I don't want the place to be too classy. I like a kind of not the fully trashy joint, but I like a partially trashy joint. Is that just me?
I don't want to dress
we're
code.
Just me.
We're DJs.
I love full
we don't
trash.
want something fancy.
I kind of like to go I like extremes. I like a really nice bar or a real dive bar. Just
Sure.
nothing in between. Like,
Well,
this place is okay. I'm like, that's not fun to me. I want
Anything
ice in the
where you have-
urinals or a bathroom attendant. Nothing in between.
Anything where you have to put a tie on though or get dressed up, screw that. I don't want that either.
I'm out. I'm not wearing. I don't want to wear a tie.
Oh, I will refuse to. Any place that requires me to wear a tie, I'm not going.
The same
So
with
you're
me.
not going to your
No,
wedding?
Don't have to wear a tie.
I didn't
What are
wear
you
one
wearing?
either.
Vest.
You're going vest?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what colors? Anything extravagant or classic?
That's up to her. I finally convinced her into not wearing a suit jacket, and I don't believe I'm wearing a tie. I'm not wearing a suit jacket. I know we've decided
There's
on
still
that.
time for her to convince you.
Suit jacket, no, it's not happening. We've already got
I would
that.
say tie is like still. I think a tie is like minus 300. It's live.
It's live. It's definitely live. I put it more at minus 200.
Oh, so you have the inside track. I made a bad line.
Yeah,
Seems
well,
like
I didn't
what?
take a bet.
What made you Shrek? What made you go to Colorado?
So before I came out here, my wife and I lived in Houston, and going from New Hampshire to Houston was brutal. We didn't want to go back to the New England area. We wanted to try something that was similar in climate. So
Hold on a second. We might have I thought we were gonna have a 100-yard touchdown. He got caught, but against Humphrey, like an 80-yard touchdown. But go ahead. I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you
Wait,
off.
who had a 100-yard touchdown?
Little Jordan.
Little Jordan Humphrey, like an 80. He got caught, so it was like from like the 2-yard line, but he was free. But they tracked him down, but he ran for like 65, 70 yards or so.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. This is
It wasn't Parker, so we're all, doesn't matter.
It was a saint, to be clear. to the 40, so 60 yards.
Parker's living the damn hell life from Sunday. Ugh.
Got the headset on the sidelines.
I need 6 more points from Bane to have a winning night, or DFS to do something, which isn't going to happen.
Let's see. What do you got there? You have 7 minutes to go. Plenty of time.
Yeah, no, I'm saying there's a chance.
What did you get it at? Like 5-1 for 30 points, or 4-1? What was the adjusted line?
Yeah, keep going, buddy.
7-1.
Yeah, keep going, buddy.
Dude, I don't know. I didn't. Unfortunately, I
16 to
was on a
1.
little-
What's
16
past
to
7?
1.
They only let me put $43.50 on it, but I may have had a friend
Exactly
put some extra
$40.
money down on his losing account.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
not so
that
bad.
touchdown
16
would
to
be
1.
nice.
What have you looked at your lineups yet, or not just yet? You have no idea what you're. Who knows what you're rooting for when you have
No, I'm looking at it.
showdown.
On the showdown, I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit above breaking even. Late night NBA looks, I'll knock on wood, looks really pretty right now. Juicy.
Yeah. Well,
Juicy.
that's because he made that bold Tony Snell fade, right?
Who?
Yeah, it is bold.
Who's Tony Snell? Forget about him.
Little's crushing. 13-4
Little?
with 3 minutes to go.
Powell's
Still at
crushing.
3-4-3.
Harden's
Oh,
getting there.
Porzingis at
Bledsoe.
24-3. Porzingis looks like the best play so far at night.
Marcus Morris.
Outside of
Senior is
Bane.
Unknown. Or unused.
Was Bane on the night slate, or is it a 2-gamer or a 3-gamer? I don't know.
Night slate's 2 game. That's my favorite slate. 2 game slates I love.
You madman.
I I don't play those. I probably should dabble in them for fun. Like, why not? Like, I've done the research for everything else, so why not?
When I first started doing them, the approach was so out of line. And I remember I just on a whim messaged Brick one night, and I was like, "Got any advice?" And he gave Brick advice, and it worked. Actually, it was logical.
Yeah, he's a sharp dude.
Yeah,
very sharp, very sharp.
JaVale is stinking it up out there. JaVale's at
I need minutes. 3 more points from him. I'm gonna lose money tonight.
And you bet $1,000 on him on the show, right? You bet $1,000 over 8.5.
Yeah,
he's got a shot. Like, he's still out there, and the game's tight. 4 fouls, but 6, 4, and 3, and no stocks. Also, like, he's a stock guy. Nothing.
Grant, you have a date yet for your wedding?
July. I'm not gonna say the exact date because I think I said where it's at.
I haven't got a card, but I'm not sure if you do. You my address or anything, Grant? Or
we haven't sent them out yet. Dean, you already know you're invited.
Are you doing it out here in Colorado, or are you doing it
in Denver?
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Hey, you're supposed to say like that was your moment. That was a layup for you, just to say that there's no chance I'm going to miss your wedding or whatever. Huh?
Dean, we called you after we got engaged because Bobby Sue wanted to.
Yeah, that was a fun. You guys were like in the back of a restaurant or like at a deck or something like that, if I remember correctly.
We were up at my parents' house and she was a little bit ham boned. Well, I mean, It makes sense. Like normally, I'm like, "Babe, you sure you want to drink? Like, keep drinking. You don't want to be hungover." And she's like, "No, I'm fine with that tomorrow." I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Was the no tuxedo and suit and was that part of the proposal?
No, I was not, but I was not wearing tuxedo or suit then.
4th and 9, by the way, for New Orleans. Man, this blitzer just came right in. It wasn't even a blitzer. Plenty of time now. We got a chance and interception. And
oh my God,
we're gonna run it back a little bit. No, we're gonna go down. But Book is who we thought he was. It was. And what do you want from the guy? He's like their 4th quarterback. But that's pretty rough.
Yeah, he literally is their 4th quarterback. There was holding. It looked like there was holding on the wide receiver, so that wasn't entirely his fault. It was a bad decision, but
and they didn't throw a flag. Wow.
Who's blocking 15? Like flying in, like nobody touched him. He's right in the line. Like nobody considered blocking that guy.
No, people don't like to block.
Well, 15's a D lineman? I'm so confused. Or he lined up there at least. It's a weird number for a guy coming right up the middle, but
they're allowed to pick any number they want, right?
They changed it up where I'm not sure if there's any rules at all at this point, but maybe there's no rules. I'm not sure, but like you see receivers with single digits now. But I don't know. Maybe there are no rules. There used to be like you got to be like a certain, 70 on the
Brian
line.
Bosworth, when he got to the NFL, he had his brand from his college number, and he sued them over them not letting. Gosh, Bane, make your threes.
How do you know about Brian? Oh, he's from Seattle. That's how you know about him.
Oh, it's almost like I read his book.
That's the book you chose to read as a child?
Oh, Bosworth?
As a child? No, I read it as an adult.
Did you watch his 30 for 30
book?
I did not watch his 30. I did watch his 30 for 30, actually. I love the Bonds.
Oh. Well, he was brilliant because I can't remember. He would like go out and like make fun of the other team or like call out the other team. I can't remember what he did it. The exact premise of it, but the concept was he would enrage the opponents he's facing, and then he would sell a T-shirt that say how much you hate Brian Bosworth because of the things he said in the parking lot. And he was making money. He was very smart, making money off of like just enraging the fans, and the fans now all of a sudden buying T-shirts that say how much they hate Brian Bosworth. But of course, that money is all going to Brian Bosworth. It was pretty brilliant.
Yeah, no, he's a smart guy. Strangely enough,
wasn't great in the NFL. He was a
great actor, though. Great actor.
What movie did he star in, Brian? I think it was called The Boz. I think it was actually a movie called The Boz. Is that correct?
Well, he did a few things in Hollywood.
I see this Duke Johnson rush for a loss of 1 yard, and I think to myself, man, just watching that play, I'm so glad I don't play RBs from Miami.
Gosh, Baines missed like 5 threes in a row.
Let's check out the filmography of Brian Bosworth.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. I know he was in The Longest Yard. He was in Stone Cold.
That's what it was called. That was one of his big movies, right? Yeah, I think it said The Boz, like Stone Cold. Was there not a movie called The Boz? I guess it was called.
Isn't Stone Cold where he had the lightning bolt in his hair?
That sounds correct.
Yeah. Three Kings. He was an action star. Back in Business. Lawless.
By the way, Devin, even though we didn't play the Miami running backs, they have more points than Devontae Parker.
Just brutal. Just spitting in our faces.
It's troll season again in Showdown.
Yeah.
It truly is.
2021 rolls along.
Yep.
No tight end scored a touchdown today, by the way.
Not
Just
out of it yet.
I know people like to. Well,
Showdown has been hard this season. I last year and the year before I had a couple nice wins. This year it's eluded me.
Well, it's one of those things where your football season, your profitability of your football season can come down to theoretically, not just one game, not just one player, but like one play can literally.
It's literally that's been Showdown this year. Like, the process is fine. The exposure is good. They have the right captains, but you have that one player, Devontae Parker, who chooses to just not do anything, and you are stuck looking at your spreadsheet, like Grant said, and I don't like it.
Is it possible you're saying this right now? Is it possible you're saying this right now, and you're like crushing Showdown? Like you don't realize you have a top team right now at Showdown? Is that possible?
No, I've been looking all night. I've been looking.
Yeah, Dean, he said it multiple times. He's looking. You're like, I know you're not looking. You keep saying that over and over again.
No, but maybe it changes throughout the night. I don't know.
No, I like Grant said too. Post Saturday, I haven't had as much anxiety around what happens.
Yeah.
Late night basketball right now. I've got a chance in the 222. I'm in second place right now, which is nice.
Who do you got? Who's live for you? Well, I guess everybody's live.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a good lineup. The weak link right now is Bruce Brown, of course.
Well, it's still early there. The Dallas game is potentially blowing out, which is I don't know if that's good or bad for you. They're up by 19 with the. Well, it's still halftime, I guess.
It's halftime. That one's okay.
Powell's doing pretty well. Little's doing well.
I'd like a little bit more from Nance, and I need Bruce Brown because Bledsoe's crushing. Everybody's crushing, and I'm only. Let's see. I'm 10 points behind first place, so that's not bad.
The one I can't believe is doing well. I totally forgot about this guy's existence. Brandon Knight.
Oh gosh, Bane hit 30. Bane hit 30. Bane hit 30.
Oh boy, there you go.
So that means not
14 to 1
for you.
16 to 1.
Nobody runs better than Grant, man. It's the best.
Oh, it's almost like I'm good at my job, Daniel. You wouldn't know what that's like.
That's subjective. I wouldn't know.
To have this job and be good at it is a requirement, because if you're not good at it, you don't have this job.
You get exposed pretty quickly, in theory. Yeah. Yeah. That's
bet the better. You become what is it?
Ben the better.
Ben the better. God, that was trashy drama.
Oh, did you listen to all the stuff about? We talked about him earlier tonight.
No, I didn't, because once he started going, like once him and Blender started having their exchanges, I was like, okay, this is just going to be another person who doesn't understand what Blender's trying to say, and I'm done.
Well, I don't know if you saw the thing we were talking about earlier. Overzet and Hooper, Brian, is it Hooper? Hooper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about how Ben the Better allegedly maybe is not who he says he is. And
yeah, they were saying that it was like a ghost account where it was just all for drama. Wasn't Overzet the one
fun on the internet? I guess. Yeah.
Didn't Overzet have a big win yesterday?
I don't know if he did. Congrats to him. I missed it. Oh, I saw Levitan at a big win. He won like $2,000.
Yeah, Levitan.
That's awesome. Good for him. He's one of the best voices we've had in this industry in 10 years or whatever it is. I don't know. He's been around forever. Levitan.
Levitan seems like a really good guy.
He's another Colorado guy, isn't he? I think he's in Colorado now.
Might be.
There's a lot of good. Giant Squid is out here too, I think, Grant. I don't know if you know him.
No, Condia's out here.
Does he still play?
I don't know if he still plays.
Ram?
Yeah, CSU Rams.
CSU Rams out here.
And
Colorado's the hotbed.
Pete's out here. Draft cheat. He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Draft cheater. We didn't.
McGee just fouled out.
What?
What was
Got
the
a
name that you
package
said,
deal?
Grant?
Condia. He was bigger back in the day.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I don't know if he still plays. McGee in 22 minutes, 6, 4, and 3. That is rough. I feel like he did nothing in the second half. It wasn't even that. I mean, he fouled out, which was bad, but still, he played 22 minutes, which he should get, at least 20 fantasy points. That's well more than he gets per minute, but that's kind of rough. Well, I mean, we survived the worst game. We do appreciate Shrek. Thanks for hanging out with us. You didn't have to hang out this whole time, but we do appreciate you hanging with us.
Thanks for having me. I love it. You kidding me? Talking sports and making fun of you a little bit too at the same time.
I don't get
That's
to
my
partake in
favorite part.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm glad that we all had a good time.
I can't wait to go have my Italian dumplings after this. It's going to be so satisfying.
I know a place. Have you heard of Costco?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know dumplings are not Italian. I just I got confused. You're on air, you say enough things enough times, and you're gonna get stuff wrong. I'll take my L on it. My bad. But
it's fun. I appreciate you all having me on. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. We look forward to seeing you around and
sure.
Enjoy it. Congratulations. Enjoy retirement, man. That's
like I said, hit me up if you're down in the Springs.
Yeah, next time I go down to see my sister, I definitely will.
Yeah, sounds good.
You guys I got some restaurant recommendations. Grant's gonna want to take it to Taco Bell, but come on.
Taco Bell's a good one.
I don't know. Dean's going to tell you guys to go to an Italian restaurant that's serving egg rolls. So
maybe take none of our recommendations. I don't know.
What would an
Devin,
Italian
you got anything
egg
else
roll
before
taste like?
Before you step aside and get out of here, Devin? I think we're done.
Yeah, I think we're done. We'll keep an eye out on YouTube. We got ourselves a prize pick video tomorrow for Chief for the NBA games.
Ooh.
As well as
hopefully
Crunch Time and
hopefully
NBA Grinders Live. Yeah, right.
Half the players he's recommending aren't even, who knows? But it's hard. I mean, World's Smallest Violin again, to make content for NBA right now, but it's really, really tricky to do that to, a couple hours even before the game sometimes, but that's how it goes. We'll be back tomorrow. Are you with me tomorrow, Grant, or no? Probably not.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. I told HR, I can only take so much.
I said the same thing.
Well, we're compatible or incompatibility.
Well, Dean, again, since I'm retired, if you ever need a sidekick, you just holler at Shrek. I'll come on with you.
There you go, man. There you go. You've been replaced, Grant. How about that?
Yeah,
6
I think
figures. I'll got 7 figures.
Dean and Grant have offsetting flags here.
Well, we appreciate you all watching this fabulous football game with us and talking nonsense and interacting, hanging out with us in the chat and the Discord as well. If you're still hanging out there on YouTube, hit that like button. Do subscribe, turn on notifications. We'll be back tomorrow again for some more basketball. I believe it's like a 9-gamer or a 10-gamer. It's Today was 7. It progressively goes up 7, 8, 9. And there's 10 on Friday, 4 on Thursday. Pretty good week as far as we don't have any monster slates. Basically, 10 is the most we have. But yeah, we'll be talking to basketball at around 5:10, I presume. For Shrek, thank you once again for joining us. For Grant, he was here also. For Devin, thank you for producing for the fabulous Dolphins and the Saints. We do thank you all for watching. We're out of here. Oh,
Hey, kids.